Clark and Bruce, terrible news about our smoking Joe.
Yeah, it is, Rich, isn't it, for a Connections trainer and, of course, jockey balked to get so close to the big race on Tuesday. Just to be a participant's important, but he would have been a live chance in the race as well. But he's got tendon issues and he has been withdrawn from Tuesday's Emirates Melbourne Cup. OK, the first race is only about 11 minutes away. There's been a Sevens coverage of Derby Day.
115,000 last year.
Yesterday. Disappointing from the fact that there was a distinct track bias yesterday. However,
it is a shame that Australia's showcase race meeting is so marred by, prejudiced by a one-lane highway that the VRC presented to the public. You know, it's a shame for the horses who've been prepared for that meeting, who had no hope.
Definite super lane highway there here yesterday. It was the bias was just horrendous. They don't want to know about it here in Melbourne. Nothing written in the paper or anything like that. Look, I'm saying it was worth 5 lengths up the fence.
Well, I asked the track. Now, the Carbine Club is not far away. 3 minutes, in fact. There's been some money for antidotes, we're told. $14. Now, Super Australia. Patriotism in the market at $7.20. Little Saiwan, number 7, at $7. I'll give you super tabs all day. Bodgy at $14.60. The favourite, Promiscuous, at $2.50. And Marites, one of the...
Ready for the Carbine Club, and the gates are back, and they're off for the opening race today. And Antidotes bounce quickly with Patriotism out in a hurry. Landed in front when they settle down. Little Saiwan and Prospect away quickly with further out Fantastic Owners. And Promiscuous, the filly, going around the outside as Prospect takes it up and slows them. Promiscuous goes up second, followed by... Then came Sarah Time, followed by to the outside would have been Marites, and then Lasker, and last of all Dance on Board. The filly Promiscuous in front coming to the turn, 2.5 to Prospect. Over on the inside, Patriotism's had a good run. Back on the fence, Antidotes. Fantastic Owners, 3 out. Wider out on the track, Little Saiwan with Wordsmith. Promiscuous turns for home, 400 to go. A length in front of Patriotism, followed further back by Antidotes. Then Prospect and Bodgy back behind those. Miss Fantabulous, but going to the 300, and it's Promiscuous by a good 2 lengths. Into the clear second now, Antidotes with Patriotism. It's still Promiscuous at the 150. A length and a half in front. I don't think they're going to get her. She's still in front of Patriotism and Promiscuous all the way. The filly is too good. And Promiscuous, a length and a half. Patriotism. I think Antidotes third, and Miss Fantabulous fourth the rail. Then further back, Bodgy, a gap into Sarah Time. Prospect, Little Saiwan, followed by Lass.
So that's what Promiscuous has, 31, and nearly all women, and just Shane Crawford. They're all gorgeous girls, including Trish Oliver, the wife of Damien, and they're expecting their second child on New Year's Eve. They are going to be so excited.
Oh, they'll be beside themselves. This filly, I was worried in the run. I thought she was getting too fired up out in front, but she loves to race that way. Damien didn't fight, and in the end, I thought she was holding them safely.
This is a filly that nearly beat Miss Finland in the 1,000 Guineas. It was a thrilling finish, and
Damien last time out with Miss...
Trainers everywhere. $2.70, $1.50, $2.20 Patriotism, $3.50 Antidotes, the Quinella 1040.
Took Miss Finland to beat her last start, and only just, so she was well placed in the Carbine Club. 9-4 favourite for Dee Oliver and David Hayes. Patriotism and Antidotes, the Sydney 3-year-olds running well there. But, gee, she's been a revelation, Steve, hasn't she?
Certainly has, and another lovely ride from Damien Oliver. She was beautifully rated in front. The first 5 finished a clear margin ahead of the rest. They all raced reasonably handy. If you back something that's settled back and wide, forgive it. I know that's a recurring theme, but that's the reality of yesterday's racing.
Well, from a winner Pakenham to...
Everybody, the story that was about to unfold. Over-raced, pulled very hard, and still made them look second-rate behind them. Melbourne?
Yeah, Alfie hit the nail on the head there. She over-raced. She was... as you say, Alf, she was absolutely bolting in front. She wanted to go faster. Damien was swinging against her. Usually those horses that lead like that get run over in the straight about halfway along. She was still finding more halfway down, and she's a very good filly, loves to race that way. Her form was good, so once she got to the lead there on that fast lane, it was all over.
Well, John, I thought the fave.
He looks terrific, Bruce. He's actually the pick from the yard. He looks very, very strong, well prepared. He's just going up to the gates now. Got a nice gate, good jockey, good trainer on the horse. I think this is the chance. I think, Bruce, this is a chance to get him into the Melbourne Cup.
Did you like Drax back?
Yes, I like Drax back. Look well, Bruce. The 9 horse worries me a little bit. He's sweating up profusely, the horse of that Jimmy Cassidy's riding, Settle. in the run for Jimmy, but I just spoke to Jimmy on the way to the barrier, and the horse...
The bookies are taking the favourites on, as I told you earlier. They let Promiscuous out, they're letting Vanquished out more than half a point, shopping very skinny at the $3.90 on the tote. The one that they have come for is Peter Moody, and he tipped them to us earlier, Magic Instinct. 6
is racing. The horses must relax. 3 of the horses are already in the cup. 15 are searching for a place in the cup as we
go. Racing, they're on their way. Vanquished, the favourite in gate number 4, jumped away well. Grand Zulu got out of the gate quickly, heading forward at the start, and Serira being set alight. There he is, dashing up in the centre of the track to go to the front. So Serira's going to lead the way. Zabit pushes on, so too Kefalu and Roanoke very wide. Grand Zulu planted on the fence 5th. Magic Instinct 6th, and going for the English horse Sulakwa at the start. Asnabor very wide around Lon. Asnabor very wide around Lon. Heat Arazu maybe better goes back from Drax back. Jennifer side of Vanquished, trying to go forward around Drax back. Defining drop the bit from Ice Chariot, well back from Lord Erin. And Jennifer last of all as they thunder for home. Kefalu moved up on the outside for the pumper. And at the 700 metres mark, Kefalu straight to the front. Zabit's under pressure. Grand Zulu, Beedman's ridden him a treat from the good gate. He's off the rail and he's challenging quickly. Here's Magic Instinct and the red cap and Serira inside of him, coming with runs. Vanquish getting into the clear and further back. Lon Heat to the outside. Flattening out at the 500 metres mark, and Grand Zulu moving up on the outside. He's hit the lead from Kefalu. Arazu goes up on the fence. Magic Instinct chimes in. Vanquish can't get a run, and maybe better starting to thunder down the centre. Arazu strikes the front at the 200. Maybe better's the danger. Arazu a length in front with maybe better coming home like a shot out of a gun. This has been a magnificent ride by Stephen Arnold. Maybe better hit the lead from Arazu, and Vanquish maybe better in front, and a mighty ride. Maybe better's won it from Arazu, and Vanquish third from Grand Zulu. They were followed by Magic Instinct, then came Sulakwa. Behind those Jenna Bell, Lon Heat,
He's into the Melbourne Cup, maybe better if Brian Mayfield-Smith wants to go that way. Arazu will miss out, and so will Vanquished. And Grand Zulu, who had to finish 3rd to make the Cup, has finished 4th. So our
Stretches down in front, and that's the sign of a good stayer. And look, if he ran in the Melbourne Cup and there was pace on, he'd be a rough each way chance in the race.
He's got that touch of class. He has 57 today, and in the Cup, he goes down to 50. He drops 7 kilos for the Cup.
I think they'll probably look to run him. And you know what? If he didn't win the race here, if he hadn't beaten off Arasu on the inside there, he might have got it on protest, because Arasu did come away from the fence and put
the 64.
Steve Arnold dropped 7 kilos for Chris Munster ride on Tuesday by Intergaze, beating Irazu. Great ride by Dunn to defeat. Vanquished, no luck, the favourite, running 3rd. It was a high-class Saab this year, Steve, too, wasn't it? So I think you can say, if you know, with maybe better, he goes into the race with a great chance, thanks to 2 terrific rides by Arnold, who's taught this horse to settle.
Certainly has. Brilliant ride yesterday. More on that in a moment from Simon. As we alluded to earlier, he did run 2.5 seconds quicker than the Derby. Great performance. Melbourne Cup winners in recent years more often than not come off a stunning last start win. Not a nice 6th or a 7th, so he certainly falls into that category. As you mentioned, Vanquished tucked in behind them in the black and white stripes. Didn't have a great deal of luck. Magic Instinct probably just needed the run, I fancy. He loomed up, had tracked a little wide. Condition just gave out. Lord Erin pulled up with a harder regularity. Jenna Bell finished a long way back, but the run was pretty good. And tell you who else went okay? Sulakwa.
He did. Simon?
One thing I'd like to say, Bruce, Stephen Arnold, this man survives on eating orange peel and cigarette papers.
Who doesn't?
How he can be so strong, but also so mentally focused, his disposition never changes. Pound for pound, he's as good as any rider anywhere, and he does a magnificent job.
Well, he doesn't settle that well, but he seems to be settling better. The pace was on in this race, so that really set it up for him. That's what he needs, pace on. Don't know if he'll get it on Tuesday, but I tell you what, if he does get it on Tuesday and he gets into the right part of the track, I'll bet he runs home and surprises a few people.
Great ride, and look, the key to him in the Melbourne Cup is that he has barrier 3, and he seems to settle a lot better when he does get the cover. If he sees daylight, I've seen him pull hard in a mile race. So, great training performance and a great ride.
Well, Brian Mayfield-Smith is a genius trainer, and he was interviewed after the race and talked glowingly about this horse's work. And this horse had a lot of hard work through the week and did 2 laps, and Brian was saying, look, when it got back to the point where he wanted to click it up again, the previous lap, he wanted to go again. Now, this was significant for this horse yesterday in the long-distance race because he settled better yesterday. He's a serious Melbourne Cup contender. We'll talk about him a little bit later. But Brian is a proven 2-mile trainer, and I think this horse is presented at the perfect time.
He's blind. He's splashing out third pick at 6-1. Green Birdie and Sharkbite numbers. Third pick at 6-1. Green Birdie and Sharkbite 6, both at 7-1. Runners are in for the first of the Group 1s. It's the Ascot Vale Stakes. Let's go back.
Out of his Melbourne Cup ride in Pop Rock. The Japanese runners Pop Rock and Delta Blues worked over a mile, with Pop Rock finishing half a length in front after giving the stablemate a...
Toy Show, Manicato. It's taken a long time to get to Group 1, but Group 1 horses were winning it right from the start.
And funnily enough, a lot of people used to say in recent years that it was a bit of a graveyard race when it was run in September. Horses that won it then, back in September, didn't go on for the rest of the spring. Now that it's been moved to the later time slot in the November Carnival here, I think you'll see this race really come to the fore as the premier 3-year-old sprint race in the country, and you'll see superstars coming through this race once again. And
ready for the Ascot Vale, they're racing this time. And Gold Edition bounced very, very quickly down near the inside with Churchill Downs, and splashing out has begun well with Sharkbite. Out further on the track is Dan Lee, and further out there, just further back in the field, then on the outside would have been Dan Lee. In front of it, Green Birdie, getting a fair way back out of its ground to the outside. Then came Enemy of Average as they come onto the course proper at the 600-metre mark, and Rubik has dropped out to the tail. Sharkbite and Adium's Glow. Gold Edition makes a line of 3. Then Churchill Downs splashing out, followed by Shake It Off. Then Green Birdie, and a gap in the race to Dan Lee. On the outside, Gold Edition goes up to Nadium's Glow, and Gold Edition takes the lead and sprints away now. Looks to have it won as race 3, 4 lengths in front of Churchill Downs on the rail. Then Green Birdie, followed by Splashing Out. But Gold Edition a mile in front. She's got the Ascot Vale. She is going to canter home from Splashing Out. And Gold Edition wins 4 lengths to Splashing Out. Third, possibly Churchill Downs from Green Birdie. Rubik and Dan Lee further out from Nadium's Glow. Then Sharkbite, a gap in the race, then to Shake It Off. They're followed by Snort, never came into the contention, and last of all, just pulling up is Enemy of Average.
They're outside. Churchill Downs switched abruptly to get up on the inside rail, Splashing Out, searching for a way clear, then Green Birdie and Shake It Off. Gold Edition at the 300. She's cantered past these leaders. Opened up 2-3 lengths. She's away from them. Churchill Downs is going into second placing. Then the Diem's Glow and Splashing Out. But Gold Edition is giving them a spanking. 3 lengths in front, the filly from Splashing Out. And Gold Edition went right away and scored from Splashing Out. Photo for third, Green Birdie or Churchill Downs. Rubric and Danley close late. Sharkbite.
She's really good. A Group 1 win for Ron Morn, his second Group 1 career win. He won his first during the...
Got a great sprinter's action, and who knows how much longer she can go on for. I've never seen a horse race this much this young who keeps doing the job like she does.
It was a 17th start today, but she's just been in work all the time. She's by Lion Hunter, who's the son of Dane Hill, and she's won now more than $1 million in prize money. She's had 8 wins and 5 placings and over $1 million. And most important...
And, gee, Jimmy, you just looked like you kept her out of trouble when you let her out. What about the acceleration?
Yeah, she's quite explosive when you ride it just a little bit quiet. I'm probably a little bit more handier than I really would like to have been, but you know, the other day when I trialled her, she was really explosive the last 400 and one run, her second run in 9 weeks. So
it's an outstanding effort, isn't it?
Been chatting with John Letts, Ron Morn. She's only 3, but she's a bit of an iron filly.
Oh, I don't know. She's just a class act and always has been.
Was that beyond your wildest dreams, that winning margin?
No, I really did think she'd romp in today because she worked the other morning. She ran home on a dead track in less than 22 seconds and beat some of the supposed opposition today pretty easily, and we thought that she'd improved since that because she hadn't raced. She's only raced once in 2 months.
Is the key to
40 and 210, heavily back 550 into 5s, Splashing Out 260, Phillies 1-2, Churchill Downs 330, Quinella 14's.
Rubik and Danley further out.
Well, didn't she make a good field look pretty ordinary for a Group 1 event? Gold Edition distance to Splashing Out had been unbeaten. Churchill Downs freshened up. 19.5. I've went to the inside, but, well, she was just brilliant there, Steve.
Certainly was an awesome turn of foot, home in 33.4, which was well and truly quicker than any of her rivals. I thought that Green Birdie was pretty good. He's a horse who needs cover. He was facing the breeze all the way. And Dan Lee for Bob Thompson was more than satisfactory second up.
Ken, you've seen a lot of this filly in Sydney. She seems to continue to improve.
She's a fabulous filly, and she absolutely toyed with them yesterday. I'm just not sure that the Ascot Vale is a Group 1 because of the introduction of the Golden Rose, that horses, the sprinters getting set for the Caulfield Guineas. I genuinely believe that the Ascot Vale was better placed where it was at the start of September. You know, I don't see anything wrong with not having a Group 1. I elevate it to Group 1 status, but I just think it was better placed to grab a quality field 4 weeks ago. But take nothing to grab a quality field 4 weeks ago. But take nothing away from the winner. She's a Group 1 filly.
But all those years ago.
Yeah, no doubt probably the best horse in the race in retrospect. And looking for improvement with other horses may have really cost her, and that's why she got out to good odds. Churchill down, duck to the inside.
Look, the winner, they sat up and appeared to canter a little bit for the first few furlongs. Well, if it's a sit and sprint, I think you want to be on Gold Edition every time.
She, it wasn't a contest early, and she just outsprinted him. I love a run in this. Dan Lee. Sandown Guineas written all over him. He beat Gold Edition in Queensland in the Sires. When he gets to the mile at Sandown, I think he'll be winning.
Yeah, that was a great run because he was out in that, you know, inferior.
Well, Ronnie, disappointing for you. The horse is not going to the Sandown Guineas.
Boss runs behind it, Don, but I tell you what, it had the form on the board and the price was amazing.
Yes, she annihilated him, and it was amazing that TAB on Thursday correctly put the market out as 5-2 Gold Edition and 4-1 Wonderful World. Wonderful World got scratched, and she started at $5. It was extraordinary. But it's a great credit to the trainer, who's done a wonderful job with this filly. 17th run in a race as a spring 3-year-old. And the only horse I can think of who has a comparable record is our Maysco, who at his 17th run in a race won the Caulfield Guineas. And he was a tough horse, and you know, I love seeing horses go to the races regularly and not being trained quite so hard in the track. And Ronnie Moore's done a wonderful job with this horse.
Dominic, what creep?
All right. Here, Fleming about to make their long walk up the race for the Wakeful, and then perhaps to the Oaks. There's the market, very open. The favourite you can see is Allfar at $4.20. That's way unders. You can get $2 longer here on course. 7.10 Animado is unders. $4.20 Allfar, way unders. Tuesday Joy, $6.10 Tuesday Joy. That's overs, 60 cents shorter on course. Particularly how short she is interstate. And on the
Matt, thank you. Yes, a very good old fillies. Great field, Allfar the favourite. At 4.40 in front of Tuesday Joy. Have to overcome the wide draw at 5.90.
Racing, and on the inside, Calm Seas bounce quickly. Away well as Renzina with Swiss Act and also Just Mamot. Now he's gone back on Tuesday Joy, and he's going to be back at the tail with Delago Mist, and Rena's Lady going back also as Animado sprints quickly. Animado takes it up in the early point, a length in front, now a half length, and headed off quickly by Cheeky Choice. And Cheeky Choice went around the outside to lead Animado Pintaka. The leader still is Cheeky Choice, 2 lengths in front. Animado on the inside, it's Pintaka has gone up second and Animado third. Then Bralago fourth, further back Mary Goodnight, followed by Just Mamot. 2 lengths Swiss Act, further back Jazane, she will be loved. Then Calm Seas, followed further back by Delago Mist. Renzina held up for a run, then Fuji Fantasy Alpha. Well back Tuesday Joy, second last, and last of all is Rena's Lady. Coming around the turn, Cheeky Choice, a length and a half Pintaka. And on the inside, Animado, Bralago further out. Delago Mist is off the track. Now Tuesday Joy's gone back to the fence with nowhere to go, and Alpha's a mile back. Animado got up on the inside when Cheeky Choice wobbled off the track, and coming at it quickly on the outside, Animado's tackled by Jadane, and Tuesday Joy has followed through. She's made up a ton of ground. Jadane gets to Animado at the 200, but here comes the favourite. Tuesday Joy after Jadane. Jadane in front, but Tuesday Joy pegs it back from Animado. Then came further back Fuji Fantasy. This is a huge win by Tuesday Joy. Tuesday Joy by over a length Jadane. A length away third in the race Animado. Then came Fuji Fantasy, a long gap Calm Seas. Then Just Mamont, Delago Mist. best. Alpha never came on. Neither did Renzina. Swissac, Rena's Lady. Cheeky Choice knocked right up from She Will Be Loved. Mary Goodnight, followed by Pintaka. And Bralago walks home last of all.
Battling, and Anamato's got a beautiful run through the field and bolted to the lead with Jardine, the challenger. Tuesday Joy running on, and then Just Vermont. 250 to go. Jardine and Anamato. Clear from Tuesday Joy. She's coming home strongly on the outside. Jardine and Anamato, but Tuesday Joy is coming at the pair of them with 100 to go. She's raced to the front here, Tuesday Joy. She'll come clear and win the Wakeful easily. Tuesday Joy, a length and a half. Jardine, a length Anamato third. And Fuji Fantasy's run a big race in fourth placing. Long break then, strong run race.
Maiden no longer, and honestly, this filly may press Miss Finland for favouritism, the Oaks on that. She had the bad...
Roach trail than that.
No, you certainly could not. She's bred in the purple. She's amazing. And they called her Tuesday Joy, and I stupidly said to him, why do you call her Tuesday Joy? He said, come on, dummy. He said, that's for the first Tuesday in November. Well, it might be the first Thursday in November, and then next year the first Tuesday, but she's very exciting.
Sounds like a very good plan. Well done, Gay.
Thank you, Peter.
Question about that. And to think that Miss Finland's sitting at home and waiting, and we're going to have what we don't often get in the Oaks, and that is a really glamorous clash between two outstanding fillies coming from different directions.
What you're going to see is the here as well. 7-12-4 confirmed. 592.40 Gay and Danny Beasley. Five got the form for this year's Oaks Wakeful Stakes with the Tuesday Joy out of the Oaks winner in Joie Denise for Gay. Great ride by Beasley, well panned out. Well, sorry, she went round two horses, Steve, because there was just two in front of her.
Well, he had to ride her that way, certainly aided by a very fast pace set by the stablemate, Cheeky Choice. They ran
but with your connotation there, Cheeky Choice always leads. There was no hint of team riding there for mine. Cheeky Choice always leads. That's the way she races.
Connotation. I'm reporting facts, Ken. They ran very quickly.
That smug look on your face.
A tick over a minute for the first 1,000, 1.6 seconds quicker than the first 1,000 in the McKinnon. So, tremendous performance by Tuesday Joy. She'll win the Oaks in a canter, I would have thought.
Well, I just worry, Steve. Yeah, like, there was a terrific win, but if you give Miss Finland that run, having a bludge back in the field, straight along the inside when they all fan. Now, she's a fabulous filly. I'm not knocking her for 1 minute. She'll be very hard to beat in the Oaks. But are we getting a little carried away at the absolute sweet run she had?
But I think that she's untapped and she's on an upward spiral.
She's
That's
out of
the
an
plus for her.
Bruce, one big thing in this filly's favour is, as Steve just really mentioned, she is hitting a strap. She's climbing to the top of the mountain. Miss Finland may have been at the top of the mountain. Is she going to stay there?
Well, we'll find out one way.
You were always intending, Dan, to ride for the fence because of the track bias.
Yeah, that was my intention when I went out. A lot of the times it doesn't come to fruition, but yesterday all the boys steered away from the fence, but I thought it was the place to be.
The timing looks beautiful, doesn't it? The timing looks beautiful. Is she a Melbourne Cup mare for next year?
Yeah, well, this has been the plan right from day one, from the time she was conceived, really, John.
And the name.
Yeah, well, that's it, John and Duncan.
Just one for Dominic regarding the Oaks. How do we weigh up the strength of a filly like Tuesday Joy against the brilliance of a filly like Miss Finland?
Well,
how do we weigh they up?
It's an interesting question. Tuesday Joy has got up to a rating now that is equal to Miss Finland's best rating at a mile or longer. So I think that's a pretty daunting problem for Miss Finland, because Tuesday Joy is going to go on with it past this distance, and Miss Finland has to prove herself at that. So, you know, I think the marketplace will mark them 5-4 Tuesday Joy, 7-4 Miss Finland, and forget the rest.
All right. And have a runner in this year's Maya Classic. Of course, she won it last three-way. You can see favourite 290, 280 and 260. So about 9-4 chance on course. Sea Chain's very solid in the betting ring. 530 is about right, but she has been rock solid. Divine Madonna's been quite easy. 5 to 1170 is over what they're offering here on course. So, but from the punter's perspective, there's no real blowouts on their second page either.
Support for anything else. But Reweyer is going to start the firm favourite in front of Sea Change. Divine.
Given and they're racing over the 1600, and Sea Change bounced brilliantly, and so did Rawaya. They're out in a hurry with Nuclear Free, splitting them early. Further back than Honest Politician. Then came Lyrical Bid from the outside, Chinkway Cheto, and Also Gone. Further back was Astrodame settling down, followed behind it by Cosy Bay. Then fourth, just behind those would have been Nuclear Free. 2 lengths to Gone, followed by Lyrical Bid, Chinkway Chenko. A length further back, Astrodame, followed on the outside by Nova Star. Then Cosy Bay, 2 lengths further back, Pavlova, followed by Day, who's got right out of its ground, coming to the turn with Brockman's Lass. Then came More Than Lucky, Nemesis, and last of all, Divine Madonna. Honest Politician on the outside just led Sea Change. Rawaya's had a good run behind them, and the blue and white stripe cap up third. Just behind it, Nuclear Free. Further out, Chinkway Cheto when they turn for home from Brockman's Lass. Into the straight, then Lyrical Bit on the fence. Rawaya asked to quicken. Going up to Honest Politician. Sea Change kicks in though. Sea Change on the inside finds a length in front. Now 2 lengths Rawaya. Lyrical Bit getting up on the inside. Then Nuclear Free, and further back then Gone and Cosy Bay. At the 200 though, and Sea Change is a length in front of Lyrical Bit, coming after it quickly. Lyrical Bit got up on the inside of Sea Change. Then further back Cosy Bay. Lyrical Bit going home better, and Lyrical Bit's going to win at 3/4 Sea Change. Third home in the race is Cosy Bay. Then fourth, Divine Madonna. Further back, Chinkway Cheto. Then Nemesis. Astrodame followed further back in the field on the inside by Nuclear Free. Well back. Then came Pavlova. Then Gone. Rawaya tied in the last 300. Followed by Nova Star. More Than Lucky. Day, Honest Politician knocked up. And Brockman's Lass is back near the tail.
They corner together from Nuclear Free. Rawaya is poised for her run. Lyrical Bit going for an inside run. Chinquicento runs on. Back behind them is Cosy Bay. Not much else making ground. Past the 300, and Sea Change slipped into overdrive and got 2 lengths. Lyrical Bit is running on the inside. Cosy Bay coming. Rawaya won't run the mile. Chinquicento next. Sea Change twin front with Lyrical Bit coming at it. Sea Change a neck. Lyrical Bit's going home the better. Lyrical Bit's got through and beaten Sea Change a half length. Third placing goes to Cosy Bay, a length and a half away. Divine Madonna made a lot of ground from the back, and that's been hard to do today. Nemesis did likewise, and then Chinquicento had a wide run. Further
And the one gate, Craig, helped you a lot. You just be able to put her to sleep early. Yeah, that's right. She jumped fairly, and I just made use of that draw.
Well, Brian, this is turning into a very nice derby now.
Yeah, it is. One of my best, I think, the way it's going. But, yeah, I mean, I just overwhelmed is probably the word.
And it can
form, and we just got the best run you could have ever hoped for. And I mean, that's racing. I mean, you just, you know, as I said, a pounce of luck's worth a ton of chaff.
3 and 15, some big numbers here, with fourth across the line being Divine Madonna. But 12, 3, 15, Lyrical Bit, Craig Williams, Brian Mayfield Smith, $19.460. Sea Change.
Then fourth, Divine Madonna.
Well, she hadn't won for 20 months, but she made a good race to do it, didn't she? The Maya Classic Group 1 spinning wheel, a big result here. First and third, Cosy Bay. It purely highlighted the fact you want to be near the fence, because Cosy Bay didn't go around to horse either. Sea Change laid off the fence and gave the Lyrical Bit, Steve.
Yeah, certainly did. Sea Change was the winner in the third place, get a tracking
Steve,
through on the
point
fence.
out where the winner is here. It's back along the rails in the white cap, and the horse following it through. It runs third too. You know, if you ran this race on a fair track, I'd have to say first and third place getters probably wouldn't have run placings. Yeah. We've got to get all the curators together and find out about all this watering and what we're going to do about the tracks. It just made the situation a joke.
Have a look at Divine Madonna, left of picture in the blue colours. She was an absolutely outstanding performance, probably the run of the day yesterday, given the pattern.
And laid under a tally, Craig Williams. Rawaya here pulled up lame. That's the excuse for her, who didn't run too badly.
I thought Divine Madonna was very, very good indeed, and Cinquecento was also solid.
Ron.
Yeah, the barrier certainly made the difference. Look, you have to feel for the second mare. She was gassed a bit early by one taking her on, and she did wander under pressure there. And who knows if the other filly would have had to come around, or the mare, would she have beaten her? Considering the circumstances on the day, how good was Divine Madonna? She was excellent here.
Well, I think, Ronnie, on a different day, when the track was playing a bit more fairly, Sea Change and Divine Madonna would fight the race out, and Lyrical Bit would be thereabouts, but I think she took full advantage of that inside track. Well, you saw on the head-on, when Sea Change came away from the fence, she's back out in the inferior ground again. I mean, and Divine Madonna, Lyrical Bid is probably still on the better part of the Lyrical Bid is probably still on the better part of the track.
The give up there was Cosy Bay. Look, she's a handy mare, but she's not up to the top Group 1 mares, and she's railed up into a place there, and just shows you how much of an advantage it was on the fence.
Oh, yeah. Ruai's had a couple of birthdays lately, and she's done a great job, but, you know, she was just at the end of her tether, I'd suggest, yesterday, and didn't get the rail lane. Yesterday there was 7 races around the circle. There was 21 place getters, therefore. I looked at the replays last night. I recognised that after race 1 yesterday, when the first 5 across the line beat the 6th horse by 5 or 6 lengths, and the first 5 across the line all raced on the rail. Of the 21 place getters in those races yesterday, Graham, 20 of them raced on the rail for 3/4 of the race, at least.
Wow.
Now, that is the greatest indictment you'll ever have for you know, criticise. If they're not thinking about it in Melbourne, they're crazy. A sobering thought, however, for Tuesday is that the last 2 times the VRC presented a meeting like this on Derby Day were in 2000 and 2001, both distinct horrid biases towards the rail, and on both occasions, on Cup Day, you had to be off the fence.
Really?
Well, I can tell you.
Good evening, everyone. Tomorrow's $1.5 million Victoria Derby is looming as a one-horse race. A host of leading trainers and jockeys say they might just be racing for second place to amazing 3-year-old Efficient.
Dawn on Cup Carnival Eve, but ahead of tomorrow's opening Group 1 showpiece, the field is all but conceding Victoria Derby honours.
I think the market's probably got it a bit wrong. You know, I think he's entitled to be at least even money.
After a stunning Group 2 Amy Vars win last Saturday, the money and the raps on Graham Rogerson's Boom Gelding Efficient are so big, some are wondering whether they should bother turning up.
In light of what he's done in racing and the massive spiralling increase in the quality of his performances from his first start, I think he's an exceptional young racehorse.
In a market dominated by the 3-year-old son of Carnival, may be their best bet.
Oh, you'd love to be riding him. He looks the horse you want to be on. He's whatever he does in this race, whether win, lose or draw, he's going to be a nice horse next year, and no, you'd like him in your backyard.
Even Michael Rodd thinks it will be a bad ride or bad luck, which will see him beaten.
He's done a great job up until now, and we just got to hope there's enough fuel in the tank tomorrow to take him right the way through. Is he unbeatable? Of course he's beatable. Don't worry about that. It's not an open shut case at all, and you know there's no such thing as a certainty in racing. And I can tell you I've ridden a lot of short price favourites which have probably looked more home than this bloke, and that have gone down.
Tim Hodges.
One of myself. What's it like out there, Richard, amongst the thousands?
Oh, it's fantastic out here, Bruce. I've got to say, it's a beautiful afternoon.
Totes, with a half an hour to go, basically, to the Derby. So the one at 6:40, he's really solid, Efficient, 290, but very short in New South Wales. Dan Evans' favourite is Efficient, trained by Graham Rogerson and owned by Lloyd Williams. Lloyd won't be at the track today, he'll be at home watching.
Get Square looks like it's going to go for a bath in better. You can see 12.30, 7.70 and 10.20. About 6.50 is the best you can do on course. And the one, a very solid third pick, set $7 here on course, 6 to 1. So.
How short does he pat the fave, Efficient?
If you can take the $2.60 still offer on the tote, knock them over and back it until your nose bleeds, Bruce. I can tell you, $2.60 is very, very, very generous, I can tell you.
The real features of the racing year, the Victoria Derby. Efficient, the favourite. Now.
Racing in the Derby. Away they go. Efficient's got out well. Grand Destiny went back with Ankmore Port. Who's Your Daddy began fast, and Tyrannabar going straight to the front of the winning post from Dan Ever Gorky Park. Fire in the Night coming over from Get Square, Sermione. Who's Your Daddy trapped a little deep from Sir Largo, followed by Showerfy. Behind him Efficient, Ego Maniac. Then came the one, Delidio, Grand Destiny. Tyrannabar leads by 2 lengths. Gorky Park has gone up second. Fire in the Night is third. 1.5 lengths. Who's Your Daddy? One further back, Dan Everett's a good steady pace. They're 3 or 4 lengths in front of Salago and a half to Get Square. 2 lengths further back than Sermione. They're followed by Showerfy. Then to the outside, Ego Maniac. 2 or 3 further back, Efficient. He's ridden patiently. On the outside of him then came the one. They're followed by Delidio, Grand Destiny. Then came Majestical, and Angkor Pork is last of all. 700 metres to go. And the favourite back about fourth last on the fence when they come around the home bender on the big sweeping turn. And in the Derby, first for home, Taranabar. Gorky Park goes up second, 2 lengths, Fire in the Night struggling. Then came further back then Dan Ever, followed by Who's Your Daddy. Where's Efficient? He's gone back to the fence. He's going to have to ride for luck. Get square in front of him. Taranabar up the 300, leads by 2 lengths, Gorky Park. Then came Dan Ever. Efficient's made up a lot of ground. Then further back in the race, Fire in the Night and Get Square. It's Taranabar 2 lengths in front of Dan Ever. Now Efficient's coming out. He's got 4 lengths to make up. Gorky Park battling on. Here he comes, Efficient. He's swapping them. Oh, this is a champion. He has raced to the front. Efficient, it's all over from Gorky Park. Efficient is brilliant. He wins the Derby by 3 lengths. Second, Gorky Park. Third, home Taranabar. Then came Dan Ever, followed by Get Square and a gap into Fire in the Night. Grand Destiny. This is a serious racehorse, Efficient.
Dan Ever, then Sir Margot, Get Square. Efficient is trying to make some ground on the rail, and then Sermiona coming down the outside. 300 left to go, and Taranabar by 2. Gorky Park, Dan Ever. Then came Efficient, who's starting to work home fairly. 150 to go. Taranabar getting tired. Gorky Park, Dan Ever, and now Efficient. He's swapping them the favourite. Efficient raced to Gorky Park and Dan Ever, and comes away, and Efficient scored brilliantly. 2.5 lengths to Gorky Park. Third placing Taranabar, Dan Ever a nick away fourth.
And just watch him get away. I wonder if Lloyd will be tempted to pay the $132,000 to run him in the Cup.
I bet against it. It's not usually Lloyd's style. You've got a horse here that can go on and win everything. He'll win a Melbourne Cup one day if he stays sound, but...
Richard, right now he's Cox Plate favourite. It's 51 weeks away. Right now he's Cox Plate favourite. Johnny Letts...
A long way home, he said, I had faith in the horse. Michael, when you turned for home and you went up the inside, was you a little bit worried there?
Yeah, I was worried they got away from me, but what I knew that this horse can really level out and he makes them all look second rate.
Okay, before the race,
Mr. Wims sent the message through that he wants me on the fence, and don't leave the fence until I really have to. And you just saw then that was just unbelievable what this horse has done.
Bruce remains unanswered. Will he or won't he in the Emirates Melbourne Cup?
It's tempting, I guess. The last Derby winner to run the Cup was Arena in 1998. Nothing Like a Dane in 95 did and ran second. So let's bring this superstar back, Efficient, after his...
There by Lloyd Williams. And hasn't the Melbourne Cup picture changed today? Now we have Maybe Better in, paid up. Now we're going to have Efficient in, paid up, 48.5 kilos for the 3-year-old male. Who's going to be able to take the ride? I don't know, but the...
Park battling on. Here he comes, Efficient. He's swapping them. Oh, this is a champion. He has raced to the front. Efficient, it's all over from Gorky Park. Efficient is brilliant. He wins the Derby by 3 lengths. Second, Gorky Park. Third, home Taranabar. Then came...
Well, Brian Martin's gone on the call there. Champion for Efficient. Well, if he wins the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday, Brian might well be right. Heavily backed favourite, beating Gorky Park and Taranabar. I think not much talking about those which finished behind Zabil's first Derby winner. I think this horse is in a class of his own, having his 6th start in the race. Only Nothing Like a Dane, and Dulcify had lighter preparations to win a Derby. Are we getting carried away, or is he what we look at there, Steve?
Oh, no, I think you believe what you see there. Admittedly, the overall time was relatively slow, but he exploded over the last 800 metres. Tremendous performance, and he goes into this race far more seasoned than Nothing Like a Dane. He had his first run on August 17, Nothing Like a Dane. It was 3 days later, August 20.
Of course, yeah, well, that will count.
That was 1995, of course, with Nothing Like a Dane backed up and ran second to Doremus. But we have a look at this vision again. Just remarkable, Simon, how he picks up, not so much here, but probably in another 20 or 30 strides.
What was very impressive with Efficient and Michael Rod is that Showified, the horse that tracked him into the straight, held him up at the top of the straight. He was going to go to the outside, then he had to switch back very quickly when he was right up on his heels. Michael Rod then gave him 2 or 3 cuts with the left hand, and then gave him plenty of time to balance up hands and heels and let him down through his gears. Now, from the 300 to the 200, he was phenomenal, the ground that he picked up so quick. And as
that's only its 6th race start.
Oh, look, he's a wonderful horse, and look, he's probably made the Derby this year because he's the actual find. Because, look, not being too critical on the balance of the field, but they're not very, very good horses, one wouldn't have thought. But the thing I liked about it...
The plan was to stay on the fence for as long as possible. We believe that Derbies are won twice, and both times in the straight. The first time to get a position, that first turn comes up very quickly, and then in the straight, the more patience you can display to win the race at virtually the Steward's Tower, that's where you win these races. And Michael was superb yesterday, Graham. He really was. The genuine...
Well, he's definitely an outstanding talent, Graham. He's one of the most exciting horses we've seen for a long, long time, and a great ride. And obviously it was the plan. They're a professional team, the Williams team, and they would have read the pattern of the day and advised Michael on that, and he's smart enough to know.
And then we wouldn't be saying all these wonderful things.
Can he win a cup?
No. I wouldn't run him in the cup, but, you know, it's not my call, it's the owner's call, and I'm sure there are 100 good reasons why you should run this 3-year-old in the cup, but I reckon there's a couple of good ones why you shouldn't. I think he's a superstar of the future. The only 3-year-old I've seen, or taken notice of running in the cup was Nothing Like a Dane. I don't think he was ever as good after it, and you know, I'd be looking to win everything with this horse, and maybe a cup when he's a bit older. But I'm sure there are good reasons why they want to run him.
Yes, Efficient was magnificent. He has come along in a very poor staying year. The 3-year-olds, the 2 lead-up races are the Vars and the Robinson, and this year the Vars rated 4 lengths higher than the Robinson. So the winner of the Derby was clearly going to come out of that race. The only ones who realistically could win the Derby were this horse and the One. And the One raced off the fence, and this horse didn't. But he's a great horse, and he always he's going to be a great horse next year. The Melbourne Cup, I think we'll discuss that a little bit later. But a promising horse out of the race is Gorky Park. I think he's a Cups horse for next year.
Okay, and just Efficient in consideration to other 3-year-olds. Nothing Like a Dane, for example.
Well, on my computer I can match race horses from any era.
Yeah.
And I match raced Nothing Like a Dane with Efficient last night, and they dead heat. Oh. Now, Nothing Like a Dane started 20-1 in the Melbourne Cup, was belted, got beat 4 lengths. I know he ran second, but he got beaten 4 lengths. And it'd be extraordinary for Efficient to win. He's more like a 5 or 10% chance of winning rather than the $6 or something they've got him at the moment. And I couldn't run him if he was mine.
Okay, all right. Point. The horse.
We're heading out of the McKinnon, and the totes here with less than 10 minutes to go. Railings at 30, Roman Arch Big Odds, Desert War for Gay at $9, El Segundo coming back from the Cox Plate at 2, Svenna Fighter for Lee Friedman at 7, Imperial Stride, Godolphin's Melbourne Cup chance perhaps at 13, New Zealand. Let's go down to Growl at 13 for David Hayes, one-time almost favourite for the Caulfield Cup. Atwood and Moore at $8 for Gay, and Legs, the Oaks winning filly and the Kelp Capital winner, that's the Cox Plate equivalent of New Zealand at $23.
Areas there at Flemington. The McKinnon Stakes looks like it's going to run about 6 or 7 minutes late.
Brow bounced away quickly today, and Desert War hunted out of the gates with Roman Arch, Aquadamore and Centre Fighter. Just behind them, Growl further back than Legs when they settle from Head Turner. Accumulate going back from Mollis. Last of all, pace nice and solid at Chiquita Lodge, and Desert War's gone out 3 lengths in front. Second is Roman Arch, about 5 further back. Aquadamore running third. Further back behind it, Purdy. 2 lengths Accumulate, followed on the inside by Railings and King of Ashford, and 2 to Temple Hills. Last of all, they're sprung right out in the McKinnon at the 850-metre mark, and it's Desert War by 2. Old Roman Arch sitting on his tail second, 3 further back, Aquadamore. No change in the order. 4th is Centre Fighter. Imperial Stride going around the outside. They're followed by Legs. Over on the inside then came Growl. El Secundo getting out of the back of Imperial Stride as they come around the home turn now in the McKinnon at the 550, and the leader Desert War. Roman Arch hard ridden. Aquadamore's gone up quickly now second. Then came Growl getting out. Let's have a look for El Segundo. He's 6-7 lengths off them as Desert War went further ahead of the 250-metre mark. He's shot away now. He's 3-4 lengths in front. They're making no ground on him at the moment. Aquadamore battling on, and on the outside then came Growl, but it's Desert War. He pulls the whip with about 80 to go. He's going to go all the way in the McKinnon for Gay Waterhouse, and Desert War wins it well. Desert War by 2 lengths. Getting up for second, Growl. Third, Aquadamore again, El Segundo. No ping today. Then further back on the inside, Roman Arch followed by Legs. Behind those then came King of Ashford, Imperial Stride. Head Turner Railings together, followed by Purdy. Imperial Stride pulled up quickly from Temple Hills, Molotov. Centre Fighter didn't fire today, and Accumulators back towards the tail.
Desert War's got a big kick, and he leads by about 3 lengths. Desert War now from Aquadamore, Growl, Roman Arch, El Segundo can't get near them, past the 200, and Desert War. He's out by 3, Aquadamore, Growl, and then Roman Arch and El Segundo, but Desert War clear. 100 left to go. He's done it all out in front, getting a little time, but he deserves it. Desert War all the way, won the McKinnon 2.5 lengths to Growl, and neck away third, Aquadamore. Then El Segundo, Roman Arch, leg.
Well, Gay Waterhouse is having a day, isn't he? She won the Wakeful. She's won the McKinnon with Desert War, the Group 1 Wait for Ages. She did with Grand Army a couple of years ago, and she's provided the third place getter with Aquadamore. She only brought 5 horses to the races today, and they are running right up to form. She was Coxplane. There's Gay. 74th Group 1 win for Gay. She's closing in slowly on that 100, but she's had a...
Sonny Boy, and as soon as he left the gates and he rolled along in front like that, he's going to be hard running down.
Chris, he's got a high cruising speed, this horse, and he's one of those horses that you can get out in a race, you can sit 3 or 4 in front. He doesn't go much faster, but he just keeps it up, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, there's no dash to him, there's no sprint to him, John, but, you know, if he can run pretty good sectionals like that, I mean, it's taken Great Horse Love Racing to win an Eremite to try and run him down, and they struggle to do it, so he's a good horse, mate.
He's been a terrific...
Desert War, 762.50, Growl 350, Aquadamore for Gay also, placed again 260.
Well, there's a Grand Army-like performance from 2 years ago for Gay Waterhouse there. Chrissy Muntz all the way on Desert War, Growl and Aquadamore. What an iron mare she is to back up again. And I think we'll see Desert War back up again next Saturday in the Emirates Classic, where Gay will also have Bentley Biscuit. Okay, leader on the fence, advantaged all day, but I hope go to the front and prove your position. It's pretty simple, isn't it?
Well, he's a pretty useful horse, and I think kept fresh for the McKinnon proved decisive. Interesting, of course, that Gay took Desert War and Tuesday Joy to the Cranbourne Trials about 10 days ago. That proved effective. I guess the disappointing thing about the racing pattern yesterday here, it's very hard to judge, say, a horse like Railings. You know, on a conventional track, was he going to run on and finish 6th, beaten 5 lengths, in which case...
on the fence. I mean, they didn't make any ground where you could have made ground yesterday. And El Segundo got out to the, well, what we thought was a slow part of the track. But Darren Gauci actually told Stuart the horse didn't feel right going to the barrier.
No, that was interesting. He was obviously very flat. Glenn Boss felt that Sven...
course curating, it's probably overwatering these tracks, if anything, Bruce. We had 10 points during the week. Obviously, the track was well watered because of the dryness we've had here in Melbourne over the past 3 to 4 months, heading into our carnival.
But by the way, if you get the side-on shot, that's probably not a good angle to look at. But if you look at the side-on shot, they string out like Brown's cows with all the horses up against the fence, just getting, you know, basically further in front of them. I think that's just coming down the outside. There's El Segundo, who's in tremendous form, but he's out in the slow ground, so he was never going to make it up. Look at the 4 in front. Yeah. And I'm telling you, old Roman Arch, he's run 5th there. He was gone at the top of the straight.
Yeah, definitely. 100% right. One
game and great ambassador for the sport. The remarkable thing about this race was the performance of El Segundo, who in a fair go would have won if you averaged the disadvantage of the horses on the day, what the marketplace expected them to do, and where they were in their lanes. I'd say where El Segundo was about 12 lengths slower. Wow. 10 to 12 lengths slower. Gee. And his performance was extraordinary. He tried his heart out. Now, it's got to break their hearts, hasn't it, to see a horse try that hard, not even get its number in the frame because of the track bias.
And backing up too.
Great effort.
As the day progresses, another Group 1 race to go. Of course, that is the sprint, the Salinger, but let's tidy up side fence. All the good chances here, drawn the outside. We'll see what happens. Paratroopers at 13.10, 3 points over. 11.20 Confectioner is way unders. $19 Dance Hero, 4 points over. 3.20 Miss Andretti, that's about right. She's favourite, but starting to over to Daunting Lad at $52. Big odds, 20 points shorter. Natural Destiny, 8.10, 4.50 and $6. Great variation there. A solid 9 to 2 chance. Shadowways 11.30. That's 3 points of value, and it's about 25 to 1 bar. The rest on course. Drawing out also 11. Dance Hero will go forward from 12. Another draw on the outside. Chris Munson. Gage is having a fabulous day. Can it continue? 19.30, 11.80 and 13.
Is at $7. 10, 11 Shadow Ways at 11, and Paratroopers the 1.
And they're ready, they're racing this time in the Salinger, and Natural on the outside. Natural Destiny bounced very quickly with Miss Andretti. Let's have a look at Confectioner at switching course, and they're going to go into 2 divisions. G.I. Jane has headed off quickly over on the inside. When they settle down by Dainted Lad going very fast up towards the front with Tesbury Jack and Magnus, and they're well out there with Dance Hero. A length and a half to Paratroopers, a length further back Miss Andretti. Then Natural Destiny Destiny. Further back in the race then came Shadowways. A fair way back is Confectioner, followed by Swick and Barabba Road. Over along the inside there. And here the leader is Tesbury Jack from Magnus, followed by G.I. Jane. Then Destin Lad, followed by up the outside Street Smart. Fast and Famous down the outside, about 4 lengths off the leaders. Dance Hero on the outside fence in front. Miss Andretti coming at it. Then Natural Destiny. Fast and Famous can't win. But Dance Hero on the outside in front. Magnus leads over on the inside, but Dance Hero the leader. Shadowway's coming home late, but Dance Hero, 3/4 Shadowway. Miss Andretti third, Swick fourth. Then Natural Destiny, followed by Fast and Famous. Biscan Bay, and further back in the race in Barabba Road Confectioner. Paratroopers near the inside. G.I. Jane probably beat home Magnus. Then Tesbury Jack, followed by Destin Lad, Street Smart, and down towards the tail would have been Black Ink. Outside rail have run 1, 2, 3, 4. Dance Hero, another one for Gay Waterhouse, and one for Chrissy Muntz.
And far between since he won the Triple Crown. Only 2 wins basically in 2.5 years. He's always been competitive though. His prize money's now very close to $4 million. It was a big move by Chris Muntz. He almost got the...
I mean, as a 2-year-old, he was an absolute champion. There was none better. You know, he won the Triple Crown and Magic Millions. He's an absolute superstar, and I love him.
He was a champion, the Australasian champion. He broke every speed record ever set. He was the only horse to win the Magic Millions and Golden Slipper Double. He won the Triple Crown, and then everyone in Australia wanted to pull on his tails, except the owners and the trainers and the staff and people who work with him. And it was so nice to see him win today in such devastating form, you know.
Hero 14.94, 70, 11 Shadowways 3.30, and 4 Miss Andretti at $2. A Quinella 9.
When there's been no traffic on the outside fence, they'll be coming down there. Perhaps they were the best horses, and on the best horse on the day was Dance Hero. Gate's done a great job to get him back to winning Group 1 races at this part of his career.
Yes, I think it was, Bruce. There was a lot of depth in this race. Pre-race, we had the likes of Fast and Famous and Natural Destiny Sprig. They ran good time, much quicker than Gold Edition. We also had a very, very high-class mare in Miss Andretti, probably weighted to her best here in this Group 1 handicap. She was brave again. Paratroopers pulled up a little sore. Fast and Famous didn't have a great deal of luck. Probably the horses on the flat side, in particular Magnus, Tesbury Jack and G.I. Jane, were okay, given that it was clearly quicker grandstand side. And Dance Hero, the horse with arthritis, manages to win. So a terrific performance.
Which creeps us about the favourite.
Well, Fast and Famous, he took the right option early, I believe, going back and looking for cover, but then it had no luck trying to get into the clear. I thought Miss Andretti presented into the race too early. That was a disadvantage, being ready to pounce. And the key to the race was, however, that the other speed horses went to the rail, and Dance Hero was left out on its own as the speed horse. You can't do that with Dance Hero. He's the dominant sprinter in Australia if you present him the race like this.
And very hard to make ground too. He made the running down the outside and just let him run along. He didn't try to fight him at any stage of the race, and he hasn't...
Good. I thought there was a couple of eye catches in the race. Swick, he's always good first up, but he raced well out of his grade there, and Confectioner was warming up late, the stayer, who had a little bit of support and was a quiet tip on track.
Now, Ronnie, just watch this, the outside division here, as the camera actually lines up across the track on the line, right? The first inside horse, I think he's beaten about the 14th horse on the outside home.
Well, you just... Harry King, coming off a win in a Warwick Farm Welter, then won an open handicap at Caulfield. Bowman, the jockey. Speaking of Flemington, and the opening day of the 2006 Melbourne Cup Carnival has produced the biggest crowd ever to attend a race meeting at Flemington. Now, the attendance figure today is 129,089. 129.
Jumped away fairly well. Con Merlot now go back at the start. Live in Vain. Palmer Day came out quickly. Mr. Ubiquitous firing up on the fence. And Live in Vain and Mr. Ubiquitous will pair off. Camp Kalani comes ripping across from the outside to tackle. Palmer Day settles down fourth. They were followed by JMZ and Truly Wicked. On the fence, Mr. Ubiquitous from JMZ. Palmer Day a little wide, a length to Malcolm on the inside. Lantwin 3 wide and now 4 deep going forward. Truly Wicked in the centre. 2 lengths of Mary King, Valedictum on the rail from our Apache. Spirit of Tara, Con well back with Bella Princess and Merlot now to the extreme outside. Upon flattening at the 400 and Live in Vain with a kick. Mr. Ubiquitous chasing, 2 lengths to Malcolm. Clear running if he's good enough, the Sydney Sider. Palmer Day running on from Lantwin. Then came Valedictum, Truly Wicked behind those from a Mary King. Live in Vain at the clock tower is being joined by Mr. Ubiquitous and Malcolm. Here comes Malcolm going after Live in Vain and Mr. Ubiquitous. Ubiquitous. Mr. Ubiquitous grabbed by Malcolm. Malcolm hits the lead, 50 to go, and Malcolm driven clear by Beedman. Malcolm goes on to win it from Mr. Ubiquitous and Live in Vain. Spirit of Tara next from Palmer Day. Truly Wicked Lance win Merlot now. Our packs
$3.80 and $1.90. Second, number 10, Mr. Ubiquitous at $9.70. Third, number 3, Live in Vain at $2.80. For you.
No track bias ran first, second, third and fourth, and it was pretty easy trifecta. If, you know, but I think the public should be made aware of this. There should be more information out after race 1 to the public, you know, regarding this, and even on the smaller meetings. You know, there was a...
The favourite is Yates at $6. Delta Blues at double-figure odds. Railings out the gate. Torquay is actually the favourite at $5. Here we go. We've got Honor Jeune, big odds. Pop Rock, well in commission at $8. And Is It at $7. Well, let's start our preview with the imported gallop. Barrier 4, 59 kilos. Kieran Fallon aboard in the Ascot Gold Cup. And as pointed out there as we roll tape. Well, Don, what about this import? Yates.
He's named for Ireland's best poet, and he's probably the best chance of an international horse to have come down here for many years. Media Puzzle won as an international, of course. I think the wrong horse is favourite in the Cup, and I'm pretty sure Yates will be favourite by tomorrow afternoon. Yates is a dominant stayer, and he is superior here. He's rating in the Goodwood Cup. Nothing in Australia can do that. And if he runs up to that, well, he's going to win the race.
Delta Blues. It's drawn barrier 11 with 56 kilos. Record, it's 25% winning record, but it's won just under 600 metres at Nippon. What do you think here?
Well, Delta Blues is a contender in the Cup. He overrated in the Caulfield Cup, if I can put it that way. He rated above what he was expected to be able to do. And we saw iPopper do the same thing last year, and that is a little bit of a concern for me, whether he can hold that rating. If he holds that rating, though, he's only got to lift about a length or length and a half to get up to Yates.
And this Popper. For 9, Dwayne Dunn aboard. We'll talk to Dwayne in just a tick. And now let's have a look at...
Saying on this show 5 or 6 years ago about the Hayes stable having the key to these European horses. They bring them over, have an abbreviated autumn. He's done it a number of times. He did it with Jeune. He's done it with this horse. It ran a brilliant last furlong in that race at Morpheville back in the autumn. It stamped itself as a serious Melbourne Cup contender. The marketplace, for some reason, put up 33 to 1 back a few months ago. Unfortunately, the handicapper has had 2 chances at bringing him back to the field. Otherwise, he would be the clear favourite in this race. But he has a Group 1 Melbourne Cup training trainer, and I believe he's probably the danger in the race to Yates.
Yeah, well, he always stood out ever since his first start in Adelaide over their carnival. Like Dominic said, they give him a little prep early on, and no, the vibe's been from the stable all along as he's their Melbourne Cup horse. He's looking the undeniable chances, so he's looking to come up short in the tote to my eye, and he's obviously in the top 3 picks.
Well, no idea.
No, they all go in my trifecta. I'm all over them. I agree with Dominic. This is a very thin Melbourne Cup, and I think the internationals stand out like you know what.
One of them, Pop Rock, barrier 12. Damien's to ride. And now, let's have a look at Pop Rock's iPopper here. Damien, firstly to you, what's your opinion of this galloper? You've been aboard him in track work. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, he's a very nice horse, Shadow. Didn't really get around Caulfield that well the other day, but he's impressed me with the way he's come on since his Caulfield run. There was a little bit of a query last year how...
On Media Puzzle for a second. On my figures, Pop Rock rated about a length below what Media Puzzle did in the Geelong Cup when Pop Rock raced in the Caulfield Cup. Media Puzzle then found about another 3 lengths in the Melbourne Cup. Can you make a comparison between Pop Rock, first of all, you know, on their first runs in Australia, and the likelihood that Pop Rock will show similar improvement into the Melbourne Cup as did Media Puzzle?
Well, a Caulfield Cup, I think, or any Caulfield Cup, particularly this one, is much stronger than any Geelong Cup. But actually riding the two horses, they do compare similarly, and you know, I think he's going in the Melbourne Cup with a great chance.
Yeah, Williams has zipping. Glenn Boss is to ride it. Great strike rate, winning the Moonee Valley Cup. Let's.
Whether we've seen the best of him this spring, he fits into the same category as Activation in that query for mine. He would I think he would prefer a lighter preparation, to be honest, going into in a Melbourne Cup, and you know,
maybe better. It's Chris Muntz is to ride that. Terrific ride for Chris. Barrier.
This Saab rated higher than the previous 12 Saabs.
Really?
And there is a benchmark by which you should measure the Saabs, and that is Brew, who dropped 7.5 kilos to win the Melbourne Cup, and maybe better rated higher than Brew in the Saab, dropped 7 kilos. And I don't know whether it's going to run 3,200. I love the way that the profile of the barriers are set up. I've got maybe better 4 pairs back on the fence on my map. He doesn't need to go further back than that, and I think he's the other Australian winning chance of the two. I'm including Torquay. I'm borrowing him as an Australian for this year, but I think maybe better if it runs the distance. Will definitely place.
Brew it's Craig Newitt riding for Graham Rogerson. Let's hear from Craig.
Top jockeys. Michael will be one of the world's best jockeys in 5 or 10 years.
Wow.
And unfortunately, he'll be like a lot of Australian racing. He'll probably end up being lost to Australia because he'll be picked up by one of the high-paying international stables. Efficient. There's a very good reason why 3-year-olds haven't won since 1941. Is because they're running in restricted races leading up to the Melbourne Cup. The races they run in are restricted to 3-year-olds, and there was a period when they won something like 16 out of 40 or 45 Melbourne Cups from about 1890 on, and but training and everything has changed since then, and I don't know, I can't see the point in the horse running.
Lloyd's no deal. He's summed up the horse beautifully. If it runs, Lloyd, I'm going to be on it. There is no problems about that. It'll run a great race, whether it...
Dad, my computer has got the horse marked as an 11 to 1 chance. It's an 8% chance of winning the race. It's not a 15% chance like the marketplace has got it. But
give us something.
Oh, well, look, if Torquay doesn't win it, then anything can win it. But if I had to put a few others in, I'd put Pockbrock in. I'd put maybe Better in as well. And, after that, you can, throw your hat in, but I think those 3 horses have got real chances.
Well, I think Yates is the one to beat. I think Torquay has a great chance if the handicapper hasn't got him, and I think the other chance in the race is maybe Better. I really think, like many other, very few chances to win the Melbourne Cup. Probably in the Melbourne Cup. Probably you throw in Pop Rock. Yeah. And I think the rest are making up the numbers.
About maybe Better, I'll be taking it on because I don't think it will settle well enough to run out the 3,200, although I respect its ability, there's no question about that. I'll be on Torquay. Gordyland I am getting very, very interested in. He looked fantastic on Wednesday when I saw him. And Pop Rock for Damien Oliver, I'll be on it too.
Pop Rock, Yates, Torquay.
Okay, Gregory?
I like Pop Rock. I respect Torquay. He's got the winning form, and that's been a very, very strong point in recent Melbourne Cups. I think Efficient can run well, and Art Success is the best outsider, I feel.
Agreed.
I've got Yates at $17 about 2 months ago, so I'm just swinging on it, Graham. Let's just get it home. I'm not hiding the fact that we're on and we're living, so that's the media comment.
Okay, thanks, Andrew. For what it's worth, I'm going for Geordieland, Efficient, and also, I agree with Greg, Art Success is a chance at any old odds.
Steve, you're with Pop Rock?
I'm with Pop Rock. Bruce, I'm happy to go with Sumi and Damien Oliver.
Kenny?
I'm starting to go Efficient, Bruce, ahead of Delta Blues.
All right. Kenny?
There was no diva, but there was no shortage of drama on Cup morning. Before dawn, the Derby winner was a scratching. Pretty soon, there were grave fears the race favourite would also be gone. His trainer hamming it up, but deadly serious on pulling his superstar.
Oh, look, this horse is, I think, the best star in Australia, and there's races like the Japan Cup, and he's got his whole future ahead of him, so he won't be put at risk. As much as I win a Melbourne Cup, I don't want to risk this horse.
Behind closed doors, Torquay was viewed with and without a shoe. He was given a stay of proceedings, but only until the afternoon.
We'll examine the horse again once it arrives at the races to make sure that nothing's happened in the intervening period. But at this point, the horse has been cleared to run.
Unfortunately, and we're now down to 23 because Efficient was scratched this morning, the Derby favourite and winner, and that's unfortunate. And there's a bit of a doubt too about Torquay. A lot of doubt maybe about the favourite. I'm with...
Yesterday, I was certain I knew who was going to win the Melbourne Cup. I thought Torquay was the best thing I'd seen since Mackay in her second Cup. By last night, I'm thrown into confusion because the horse sadly had an accident at the pool. He ripped a shoe off his foot and then trod on the shoe. David confirmed that to me this morning, and that can create bad injury. It's not that serious. They were able to fix the shoe. And
David Hayes and his stallion given the green light.
With feet problems, they can turn on you like a mongrel dog. Like they can just go bad the wrong way. And luckily, this one's gone the right way.
With that, Money, that had abandoned number 4, all of a sudden had jumped back on. Now, this was very much a two-horse race.
I think ours, but the win pool, $9 million already. Yates, $8.10. Torquay favourite at $5.10. Now, he has drifted from $5 when we're on air. $15 for Geordie Land. And Delta Blues, I should mention, at $17. Activation, heavily backed yesterday at the call of the card, $18. As was Zipping, but above him, Pop Rock. Look at the Ollie factor, $6.20 on horses ready to watch here, I think, are Mandela at $17 and maybe better at $13.40. But
12 to 23 and 4. 12 to 23 4. Pop Rock, Delta Blues, maybe better, and Torquay from Steve Moran.
Well, at this stage, Yates and Torquay, nothing between them, and they have both drifted slightly. Just did a run along the line. Simon B.
Million Delta Blues, 17 ratings at 29. He was third favourite this time last year. Torquay, $5.40. Geordie Land at $15.50. Head Turner and Short Paws both over 50. Onajern getting out the 16. Pop Rock still solid at $5.90. Zipping, $12.70. Dazelle at 27. Not much change here. Ice Chariot and Kerry O'Reilly both at big odds, and then Zabit Art Success under 50. Demerger and Glistening at massive odds. Mandela 15, and then Dolphin Joe and maybe better. Simon Marshall take
3 to run, racing in the Melbourne Cup. And they're off to a magnificent start too. And Delta Blues has bounced away quickly with Martoon, beginning well down on the inside, maybe better. And Kerry O'Reilly, Delta Blues showing speed with Mandela. Zarbeat coming over from the outside and further out on the track, making some ground early, Zipping, trying to get across to get a spot. Delta Blues onto the course, proper leads from Mandela, and Landon Stars went up third. Right around a Zarbeat from Short Course, followed further back in the race by Zipping. Maybe better just getting back along the inside, settling down from Martoon. Kerry O'Reilly, Yates went off the fence, and they're followed by Railings. Then came Pop Rock, went off the rail. Ice Chariot the inside. Further back, Head Turner. Further back, Activation. Geordie Land is on the rail. Listening 3 deep early. Torquay just got back inside Dolphin Joe. Then Arc Success, followed further back by Onajern. Demerger and Dizelis last of all. Zarbeat the Boulder goes to the front of the Melbourne Cup, and out of the straight leads 2 lengths. Delta Blues gets a good run up second. A length further back, then came Zipping third. Mandela fourth from Landon Stars. They're followed by Short Paws. Yates is 3 deep around Martoon. Maybe better the inside, a length and a half. Railings. Outside of Kerry O'Reilly, 1 for the back, Pop Rock. The inside Ice Chariot. Geordie Land had to get a squeeze there and ease back. Around it goes Glistening, followed on the outside by Head Turner. 1 for the back, Activation, a half to Torquay, 2 to Dolphin Joe. Then Art Success, followed by Dizel and Ajern, and Demerger last of all up the riverside, and Yates the first one to make a move. The Irish galloper Yates is striding forward where the leader is Zarbeat, but Yates has moved up on the outside to be up running second. Delta Blues is running third, a length further back, then came on the outside Zipping fourth, a length into Mandela fifth, then Short Pause followed by Landon Stars, further back then Martoon, maybe better the inside two, then to Kerry O'Reilly, further back then Railings, a length into Pop Rock. They're followed by Ice Chariot on the inside and Glistening 3 deep, then Head Turner, further back Geordie Land, they're followed by Activation. Torquay a long way back with Dolphin Joe. Art Success 2 lengths to Onajern. Lejeune, followed by Dazelle, and 2 to Demerger last of all. In the Melbourne Cup, it's Chiquita Lodge, and they're strung right out. The Bolter in front. It's beat by nearly a length. 2 Yates on the outside. 2 lengths further back, Delta Blues running third. 2 lengths further back, then zipping fourth. A length further back as they string out as Mandela. Then Short Pause further back, then Land and Stars, followed by Maybe Better and Martoon. As Yates takes Yates on. Yates takes the lead now from Zarbeat as they come up with about 850 metres to go. And Yates has got its head in front of the outside of Zarbeat. 2 lengths to Delta Blues, the Japanese horse third. They're followed by zipping fourth. Then came Mandela. A gap in the field further back. Short Pause, Maybe Better, Land and Stars. Then Pop Rock followed by Martoon. Where's Torquete's a mile back, but coming around the turn. And Yates is first for home for Island. Straightens a length in front, but Delta Blues is ranging quickly. Goes up now to Yates over on the inside, still battling on his Mandela. And down the outside in the cup, then coming with a run is Maybe Better, starting to come home well, and so is Pop Rock. Delta Blues has raced 2 lengths in front of Zipping. Maybe Better and Pop Rock on the outside. Delta Blues the leader. Pop Rock, the Japanese horse, going after the Delta Blues. Delta Blues and Pop Rock for Japan. They're fighting it out. Oliver's moved up on the outside on Pop Rock. Delta Blues fighting back. Delta Blues, Pop Rock. Delta Blues rings a cup of nose to Pop Rock. 5 lengths away, third, Maybe Better. They're followed by Zipping, Martoon, Land and Stars. Yates didn't stay. Then further back, Mandela, followed by Activation. Then Glistening. Well back was Kerry O'Reilly. Activation. Then Glistening. Well back was Kerry O'Reilly to Merger. Then came Railings, Dolphin Joe, followed by Dazelle, Art Success, Short Pause, Well Bagland, followed by Lejeune, Demerger, Ice Chariot, and Torquete is last of all, second last, Zarbeat. Delta Blues will get the photo in the Melbourne Cup, number 2.
From Delta Blues, and on the outside Zipping, Mandela Williams has got right up on the fence, and he joins them and heads them. Maybe Better comes down the outside. Here's Pop Rock. Delta Blues in front again from Mandela. 300 left to go. Maybe Better coming on. Zipping battling strongly. Pop Rock joining in. Delta Blues in front of the 200. Pop Rock, he's danger on the outside. Delta Blues by a length. Pop Rock coming at him. Japan 1-2. Oliver Wheels are wet. Pop Rock trying to get to Delta Blues. Delta Blues and Pop Rock, they come to the line. Oh, very close. Delta Blues maybe a nose to Pop Rock. Very little between them. 4 lengths to Maybe Better. In front then of Zipping and Martoon, Land and Stars, Yates, Mandela.
Yellow for Pop Rock. It's a Japanese invasion. It's an invasion by the Japanese for the whole...
Is this going to be in Japan? Yasunari Iwata and Damien Oliver after the line in unprecedented scenes here in the Melbourne Cup. What a glory. $1 million prize. This 6-year-old stallion who'd won $5 million prior to today gets another $3 million in the bank. Pop Rock just runs in, I reckon. Ollie has to straighten. He's desperate. He has to straighten again. They lunge. It's Japan 1 and 2. And what about the training performance of trainer Sumi? He's beat.
So Pop Rock was going to go past Delta Blues, but Damien couldn't get the whip in the left hand, obviously. He tried to keep his horse's momentum going because it came digs deep. What Caulfield Cup form this is, folks.
For Japan, 1-2.
What's it like? You just quineled Australia's greatest horse race. Unbelievable. Dad!
Scales, not often we talk to the runner-up jockey in the Melbourne Cup, but Damien Oliver, what a day for Japan.
Fantastic, Pete. Yeah, I've got so much admiration for the Japanese horses. I've spent a couple of seasons there and just I know how good they go, and when I was offered the ride on one of them, I was pretty keen to take it up.
It'll go down into Melbourne Cup folklore as one of the great battles up the straight.
It was. I thought I was going to pick him up. I got to him, but to the other horse's credit, the winner, he really fought when I came to him, and he's just a bit more seasoned and a bit tougher than my horse, and he fought him off, and he's a deserved winner. My horse had his chance.
$17.50 and $5.50 the place. Pop Rock $2.10 for second, and number 23 Maybe Better $3.90 for third.
Rock $2.10, massive go. Gee, the bookmakers would be relieved, wouldn't they, that he hasn't won. Maybe Better $3.90. The
Torquete did pull up sore, so there was obviously a problem there with the Melbourne Cup favourite. Looking at Steve Moran's tips though for the Melbourne Cup, he's had a blinder of a day today. He tipped
to Japan in 1990 to win the Japan Cup. Better loosen up a year after a New Zealander Horlicks won in 1989. So here's the finishing order. And in the last 20-odd years, the only horses to carry the same weight as Delta Blues or more to win have been Mackay Diva last year, Might and Power and Dure, and that just shows you how good he is. So,
Delta Blues, $16 out to $18. Any one of the next three would have just about killed the bookies here this afternoon. Because Pop Rock, as I told you, $7.50 into $6. The size of the Melbourne Cup market, that means it was just a massive go.
Yeah, well, it's an enormous difference, Paddy. You know, Pop Rock moved up at the 200. I'll tell you what, there are a lot of bookies in Australia were not feeling good.
Delta Blues, of course, drifted only a couple of points, but as you said, Pop Rock was one of the biggest goes that you've seen at a Cup car.
Yeah, no, Pop Rock, I mean, it was heavily backed yesterday, $10 call of the card, but again today they really latched onto it, the punters. It was sort of $8 into $6. I've never really seen it go like it, but the money was unlimited, but fortunately he got the wrong Japanese horse, thank goodness.
Well, and
we've sort of got a lot of money out of Yates, we got a lot of money out of Torquay, so we're pleased to see them finish running backwards.
Two of the greatest.
Christmas maybe better.
He ran very well. The speed wasn't real fast, and he got a little bit keen mid-stages, but he's run very well.
Aussie, Glen Boss, zipping.
Oh, mate, he gave me the best ride. You know, we decided sort of midday that we'll change the tactics. I thought there wouldn't be much speed in the race, and there wasn't for the first mile. They just went at a very leisurely pace, and then Yates crossed me, and I was in a 1-1 position, you know, one out, one back, and just give me a great ride.
Disappointing, really. He'd been working well, and very hard to get the tempo of the race right, you know, compared to the way we ride at home. But we're disappointed anyway. So,
Michael Rod activation.
He had a lovely run in transit. I was able to sort of suck up right around the turn and didn't spend a penny. He didn't run it out. You know, he tried to sprint go.
Back to the Melbourne Cup, and well, I'm not sure he's going to be turning Japanese, but it was a marvellous achievement by trainer Sumi to run 1-2. Only Bart Cummings and Lee Fred in the history of this race have been able to do it, and showed some great sportsmanship, but they were terrific, Steve, on Tuesday, the Japanese.
They certainly were, and a margin of 4.5 lengths, of course, to the third place getter, maybe better. The superb rides, particularly from Iwata-san on the winner, absolutely magnificent. He's the guy we wondered whether he was going to be up to the task or overawed. He was probably helped to some degree by the Europeans pushing forward and winding it up a fair way from home where Iwata was.
Kieran Fallon on Yates. He did take off. He tried to make it a true staying affair. He thought that was the best way to ride Yates with the 59 kilos, but it really played into Delta Blues' hands, although Damien's ride on
the outside, Delta Blues the leader, Pop Rock the Japanese horse going after the Delta Blues and Pop Rock for Japan, they're fighting it out. Oliver's moved up on the outside on Pop Rock, Delta Blues fighting back, Delta Blues, Pop Rock, Delta Blues wins a cup of nose to Pop Rock, 5 lengths away, third maybe better, they're followed by Zipping Bartoon, Landon Stars, Yates didn't stay, then further.
Well, the two horses have been inseparable at Sandown since they arrived here, and they're virtually inseparable on the line in the Melbourne Cup. And, well, it's a bit of a no-no there, isn't it, Simon? Ollie holding up the hand of Iwata.
Oh, I don't know whether it's a no-no.
It's great to watch. It's terrific.
5 years, and to Quinella a Melbourne Cup with these two horses to come across from the other side of the world and get it right, have them travel in. Look, there's all reports that the guy's been importing our feed for the last 12 months and feeding these horses with Australian food. So, you know, no stone unturned. He's very innovative about.
What about the other aspects?
Certainly be contemplated.
Winner, Iwata-san, he just killed him. He just got the perfect spot there, got the cover. And I think may have even outrode Ollie over this last little bit.
Oh, that's not fair. No, look, he rode very, very well, Iwata-san. He rode vigorously too, which is something you don't see a lot from Japanese riders, that sort of vigour, and I think you've got to give him credit for that. And Damien rode a beautiful race on Pop Rock, and, you know, they say, you know, people down there have been saying, oh, there'll be an invasion of Japanese horses, they'll hold all the locals out of the field. Well, there are the locals, right? Just struggling away down at the tail of the field there. Well, if a couple more Japanese horses hold a couple of 50-to-1 shots out of the field, who cares?
But where do we stop? Where do we stop?
Well, we stop when it becomes a problem, but it's not a problem yet, I don't think, anyway. What do you think, Stephen?
No, look, I agree with you, Richard. Certainly not a problem at the moment. We want it to be the staying championship of the world. We want the best stays in the world in the field, and if we keep a couple of 50-to-1 chances out the back from not racing because we've got some more Japanese, or we get an American horse or more European horses, so be it.
Nobody can. By the way, there was some criticism about Kieran Fallon's ride.
I saw
it was a dud.
No problem.
It was a dud.
He was running 14 to the second down the back straight there for about 4 or 5 furlongs, and the horse clearly wasn't good enough. That's the way he races.
Mate, have a look at what happened at about the 1400 metre turn.
Look how far
he and that Tsar beat. I don't know what happened to them. They had a little, you know, short circuit or something, both jockeys, Deleuze and Fallon. And I'm a big fan of Kieran Fallon. I think he's a fantastic jockey. But he just went bzzz, and away they went. They went about 11 to the furlong. It just killed their chances with a big weight. Anyway.
Yeah. Now, Stephen, can I just ask you this? Look, the track on Derby Day was there was criticism about you know, the fast lane. Now, what's happening with the track? I believe it's getting. Is it being pulled up as of today or tomorrow?
As of today, the track is being pulled up. The complete track is being rebuilt, and by February next year, the grass, the turf will be in, and it'll have 6 months then to settle in before we race on a completely new racing surface in September next year.
How many? Gold Edition orange and green colours. Gate 4 here. Set to go. Lights are on, they're off. Gold Edition bounced beautifully, the favourite. Astounded, ridden out of the gates. River Fairy going back, and Agnes R showing good speed to head them off early as they come grandstand side. Further towards the 600 metre mark, and it's Astounded just in front of, on the outside, Agnes R, a length into Fun in Flight. Gold Edition, the Chestnut further in towards the centre. Inside it, River Fairy, then came Industrious Lulu. Further back in the race, then came McFly as well. Out of it was Satin Robes as they come down with about 300 metres to go, and Gold Edition asked to quicken down now, goes up to Fun in Flight, and she really lets go now. Gold Edition at the 200 metre mark, look at her go. She opens up 3, 4, 5 in front. Industrious getting to second from Fun in Flight. McFly, then Satin Robes running on, but Gold Edition canters home. She's a brilliant filly. Gold Edition about 6 lengths. Satin Robes grabs second. Third's either McFly or Fun in Flight. Then a gap River Fairy. Further back Industrious You Babe. Oh, crackerjack filly this. Gold Edition.
Well, Astounded last and astonishing, this filly. Look, I don't think I'm overrating her. She is just outstanding. She's got the wow factor. I think at the end of the carnival, we're obviously going to look back at the Cup with the Japanese Efficient and others, but this filly has played such a role. That's in by a minute. It's 57.5 to quicken up and accelerate. Only the absolute top-class fillies can do that. She's by Lion Hunter, who's a son of Danehill. And look, Ron Maughan and Jim Byrne have been stars at this carnival, and no bigger star, horse-wise, than this filly.
She's just a superior athlete, this thoroughbred horse. She pulled the shillelagh on her there, but look, it's $151,000 race, I think, isn't it, Market, today?
The winner here was Gold Edition. Well, $1.60 into $1.50, so Gold Edition very well backed.
Further back in...
Yeah, just terrific, wasn't she? And it was that absolute acceleration around Miss Finland. Ronnie Maughan, well done to Ronnie. Obviously keen to have a crack at Miss Finland again. Who would you back over 6 furlongs? Miss Finland or Gold Edition?
Gold Edition.
Simon?
Miss Finland.
And Industrious getting to second from Fun in Flight. McFly, then Satin Robes running on, but Gold Edition canters home. She's a brilliant filly. Gold Edition about 6 lengths. Satin Robes grabs second. Third's either McFly.
And they've got plenty of reason to cheer up at Toowoomba, haven't they, Ronnie? You know, with Ronnie Maughan and all those gallopers. Wow.
My word, she's just a revelation. She's just gone from strength to strength with some hard racing. How many runs has she had now?
Look, just never spells.
Stopped.
Yeah. Never spells, and just keeps producing performances like this. Actually, she is a dead-set straight horse. She loves the straight.
Doesn't move.
When you get one that loves the straight, they are really dominant. And this was a cakewalk for her, but really shouldn't have run in that race. Should have been running on Saturday.
Good run
the money.
Good run the second.
Oh, that's because of Satin Robes running second. Is that what you're talking about?
That's beside the point, really.
Chances, and like it didn't just get beaten. Like this horse absolutely annihilates it. This is very, very good, and it'll. New market handicap next year.
She goes back to Brisbane for 2 races in lead up to the Magic Millions. They're set weight races. She's going to carry 52.5 kilos in them.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, we're only 35 minutes away from the running of the Crown Oaks for 2006. They're the total odds, 283.10. Miss Finland, Tuesday Joy, variations across the country. In the ring, Miss Finland open favourite around the 250 mark. Tuesday Joy around 290. It's been the first to ease. You can get $3 now about Tuesday Joy. Over to, well, Gallant Test was good odds, $32.90, half that with the bookies. Sephra, $6.50. Well, it's not as short as that. 10.20 and one here, Miss Finland, 260 across the country now. It's evened out. That's exactly the quote here on course. She is the best back runner in the Crown Oaks. Tuesday Joy, $3. New South Wales remains loyal at $2.40.
Now on the Oaks. And away in a good line to the outsider. Lady Gracious bounced away quickly out towards the middle with Mary Goodnight. Miss Finland began okay. Let's have a look at Tuesday Joy. She's begun okay and she's back running about 5th, 6th last going out of the straight. Mary Goodnight on the inside of Lady Gracious and Rena's Lady out deep, and Anamato got on the inside of Claudia West. 2 for the metre mark in the Oaks, and the leader Mary Goodnight a length in front. Lady Gracious second. Anamato third, fourth on the outside. Rena's Lady 2 lengths. Jardine running 5th. They're followed by Claudia West. Miss Finland's had a good run, about 5, 6 lengths off the lead. Then came on the outside a bit further back Galantess. Further afield then Renzina. Tuesday Joy back behind those coming to the turn, about 2 lengths behind Miss Finland. Is going to be wide coming around the turn. Mary Goodnight from Anamato. Further out Rena's Lady, and here comes Miss Finland. Over on the inside Renzina. Tuesday Joy left behind Miss Finland, 4 lengths back. Miss Finland has cantered up to them. At the 350 metre mark she takes the lead. Now from on the inside Renzina, then Anamato. Back up to Tuesday Joy and running on down the outside is Ulfa. But Miss Finland at the 200 metre mark, she's kicked a length in front of Renzina, followed by Anamato. Tuesday Joy the outside. This is a magnificent filly. The Golden Slipper, the Oaks in the 1 year. Miss Finland, brilliant. Miss Finland by 2 lengths. Tuesday Joy second. Anamato third. Fuji Fantasy ran on. Followed further back by Rena's Lady. Then came Ulfa, a gap then to Renzina. Well back then Jardine. Then came Kasumu. A gap in the race then to Galantess. Further back Vonnier. Just coming into the tail enders. And they are well back. Sephra, Claudia West, Mary Goodnight and Taylor.
The pressure goes on. Renzina got up on the inside. She hits the lead eventually. Anamato and Miss Finland charge down the outside. Miss Finland hits the lead and she's 3 in front of Tuesday Joy trying to wind up. Miss Finland at the 200 in front of Renzina, and then Anamato and Tuesday Joy followed by Ulfa. Miss Finland in front. She's out by 2 in the 100 metres from Tuesday Joy and Anamato, and Miss Finland, the champion filly, scores by 2.5 lengths to Tuesday Joy. Third placing, I think, Anamato perhaps from Fuji Fantasy, then Rena's Lady, Ulfa.
The Golden Slipper, the Oaks in the 1 year, and she bolted up to them at the 400.
Absolutely, Greg, so well said. Colin Hayes second twice in the race, once ironically behind Gay Waterhouse's father, with Denise's Joy, the grand dam of the horse that ran second today. 1, 2 and 3 from different areas, from different spectrums. She's won the Golden Slipper in the Oaks. No filly has ever done that in the history of Australian racing. And she didn't only win, she won the Slipper by 4. She's bolted the Oaks in as well.
And for the next 10 years, you are going to be talking about this filly here, Miss Finland. She's a freak of nature. Golden Slipper
stayer, but I think she's a magnificent filly, and back at 1,600 metres, 2,000 metres, I think she'll be right up there with the best of them. You don't have to be a stayer to win the Oaks in the spring, but I tell you what, you do have to have class, and she has class written all over her.
We're looking at here. So over the next season or two, Craig, we've got something to look forward to with Miss Finland.
I think we've got to rename it to Miss World. I think Finland, the continent of Finland's too small for her.
Superstar is a big rap in any sport, but she wears it proudly.
Oh, she does. Like, if you look at Gold Edition today, who turned everyone's heads, it was only 6 months ago she beat her out of her cape of sprinting, and here she is today winning the Oaks. So I'd describe her as a hamburger with a lot.
It certainly has been.
And, well, she's taken this race to another level this year by starting in the race and by producing such a brilliant turn of foot. From the 600 to the 400, she broke 11 seconds. That's rarely done.
That is a sign of a champion, and you just got to...
Alcala still looks at the film. 1, 2, 3 over the line, and this would be your pays on that. 261.50 for
Day Joy. She's an out-and-out stayer, that's for sure, but this filly here, I believe David Hayes could train her to win a Lightning. She's that good. She's a winner over 1,000 metres. Group 1, obviously, in the Golden Slipper. Group 1 in the mile 1,000 guineas. And for her to stay over the 2,500, now, albeit she probably should have gone over the line with the leading bunch in the Cox Plate. If she had won a Cox Plate, you wouldn't have seen her with the Oaks. She would have been out in the paddock and rested. But class prevails. She's an amazing horse. She's the best 3-year-old I have seen in my time.
Okay, good call. Reduced Choice gets a feature winner at 2,500 metres. Look, the options there are unlimited, but just reading between the lines, John Massara and the team there, she'll be going overseas for sure.
I think it would be the right option. She's got nothing really more to prove or gain racing here in Australia. Given her high rating and that of the runner-up, the 2nd to 7th, little bunch there from 2nd to 6th. Maybe all these fillies are pretty useful.
Well, normally the Oaks can, you can get a standard like 7, 8 rows, and the rest you don't care about. But in this race, I think it's a fair point, Steve.
And her father?
Success. This filly is just high class. Guys, she's got some class written all over her, and that's what she beats them with. I don't think she's a stayer. I think she just beats them in 2,500 metre Oaks like this in the spring because she's just too classy for them. I don't think you'll see her running in races beyond. You might see her in a 2,400 metre race somewhere in her life, but I don't even think she'll get much beyond 2,000 metres. But you know what? I think she'll be the best horse in Australia if she keeps going. And she could win the Cox Plate next year, no doubt about that. Will she run? She might end up overseas. She's that good.
Yeah, she's absolutely brilliant. Tuesday Joy had her back there. We were all thinking going into the race that she was the strongest stayer. No way. She changed gears. Yeah. She changed gears. She's a beauty.
But Ron, I think
coming up, David Hayes has won the first 2 races here today, but he's never won the Matriarch Stakes. His Saturday, but Testone ran 2nd in it, and she's great value, 7.90, 4.30, 6.90. Other totes there, well, Valkyrie Davis, way unders there, 2.20, 2.30, 2.30. She's a 2-to-1 chance, and a clear 2-to-1 chance on course. We'll have a look at some others here. Cozy Bay coming for Group 1 placing at $10. That's about right. And Celtic Bloom at $8.
Back and they're off this time. Purdy a bit slow out of the gates with Reggie and getting back Pavlova and Celtic Bloom. Hidden Strings bounce quickly with Gone and Izanami. From the outside, Anapine coming over quickly with Brum Validity up in the middle, Cozy Bay. And further out is Pin Up, just throwing the head up a little bit. Hidden Strings takes it up at the 1,700 to lead 2 lengths now to Anapine up 2nd. Brum Validity 3rd. Pin Up is deep on the inside. Gone back in the middle then 3 lengths first to last. Hidden Strings carts them along out to the top circle at the 950 metre mark, leads a length and a half now, getting a little closer the second mare up on the outside. Anapine 2.5 further back then Pin Up, and they've got 4 lengths in front of Brum Validity 4th, and further back is Anami, then Gone, further back Cozy Bay. Valkyrie Diva gives them 8 to 9 lengths start inside of Tingy Rana, then Vitesse Dane further back Purdy, Arctic Silver, Celtic Bloom, Reggie and Pavlova coming around the turn in the Hilton International, and the leader is Hidden Strings from Anapine, 2.5 to Pin Up from Brum Validity, then is Anami, Cozy Bay down the centre. Behind those, Valkyrie Diva put under pressure now. Then came Tingy Rana as they run down, and the Test Dane wider out at the 300 metre mark, and Brum Validity and Pin Up have gone up quickly from Valkyrie Diva. Purdy getting into the clear, running on. Brum Validity got a 10 in front from Pin Up, and Valkyrie Diva diving back to the inside, but Brum Validity got clear. She's home. Brum Validity comes away a length and a quarter. Pin Up a nick away. 3rd is Purdy, 4th Valkyrie Diva. Then Tingy Rana, Reggie ran on, followed by Cozy Bay, Vitesse Dane, Celtic.
Without a doubt.
Good luck, Jimmy.
Thanks, Pete. So on to the Sandown Classic for her, the $400,000 race next week.
Yeah, it might be a big step up in class for her, that, but she's certainly in winning form. You can't beat winning form.
For Liberty, Mark Zara, Jim Mason, 14.90, 4.20. Pin Up, number 16, are formerly trained by John O'Shea at 9.40, and 3rd, number 8, Purdy at 3.10.
Had some initiative yesterday from Mark Zara. She got it and she won at $15. Pin Up D done 2nd again. Purdy ran on for C. Williams, running 3rd. But gee, I like that ride there, Simon.
Yeah, great ride from the barrier too. 13 and 14, the first 2 horses. But look, she's always promised a lot. You hear Jim Mason say, and ever since stepping her up in distance and winning a Werribee Cup, the monkey was off his back. He got a bit of cash there, and Black Type E really has lifted her value in the breeding area, that's for sure. But look, she's honest. She sat on the speed there. I thought Vitesse Dane and Valkyrie Diva would run on from the top of the straight, but she just kept finding the line, as did Pins. And Purdy, she drew barrier 2, had a gun run, thought she was going to look a chance at this stage in the black cap and the haze colours there, but she's just too strong. She's hit a purple patch. She's going to back up next week, go to the
Age Classic, and we'll show you the totes before we go to Cass. Has been quite easy. It's 9 splashing out. Undue at 4.70 on Super Tab, 4.70 on New South Wales 4.10 Unitab. It's about that quote. 8.80 Black Ink. More on it shortly with the girls. Down to we'll get down to Personal Ensign there at $6. That's about right. The Deems Glow 8.50 is about right, and Splashing Out Spinezzi. Market to 113%. 2.80 you can see there. They're betting fine at all in this race. It's been a great race over the years. Mahogany dollars. That's exactly what's happening on course. Well, no, it's not. It's just been back. So Personal Ensign's the only firmer here. The Deems Glow at 8.10's right, and Splashing Out the favourite unders at around 2.90. He can get 5 to 2. So
a little little skinny on the tote at the moment.
She bounced away quickly with Black Ink down on the inside, splashing out. The Diam's Glow's got speed. Personal Enzyme went right back behind them on settling down, and Magnus away fast with Murray Downs, who's quickly up to the outside rail. Settling down along with Murray Downs on the outside fence, and Magnus further in there in the Diam's Glow, followed by just off those is splashing out. Then came Black Ink Undue. Further back in the race then Personal Enzyme. Flaming Unreal back to the tail with Dunes at the 500 metre mark, and the favourite splashing out is under pressure. It's Murray Downs headed off by Magnus. Getting out is Undue in the middle. It's coming home well, and so is Personal Enzyme. Splashing out back towards the centre with the Diam's Glow. Undue got its head in front of Personal Enzyme. Magnus splashing out over on the inside. It's Undue, Personal Enzyme, and Magnus. They're fighting it out with 100 to go. 3 in line. Undue. Magnus coming at it with Personal Enzyme. Magnus on the outside fence, got its head in front, and Magnus a half neck on the line to Undue, and a hit away third Personal Enzyme. Further back about 3 lengths then to the favourite splashing out from Dunes. The Diam's Glow further back, Flaming Unreal.
Diam's Glow, Undue's in the clear. Personal Enzyme comes with him, splashing out the far side, trying to reel them in. Undue got to the lead, 200 metres to go. Personal Enzyme, Magnus come back and splashing out on the far side. Undue, Personal Enzyme and Magnus, they come clear to fight it out. Magnus the outside and Undue. Magnus and Undue. Magnus goes home the best and beat Undue. Personal Enzyme close up third, splashing out 4, and then...
He's been a runner-upper, to be honest. He's had a lot of second placings, this horse, and minor placings to boot. But today, he dug deep. He was on the wrong side of the track in the Salinger. He had to come down the inside. He beat all the horses down the inside on the Saturday.
It's a nice little comeback from Saturday's debacle. I've got to take the rap there. I sent the horse up the wrong side of the track, and you know, it's good for Luke and the horse, and you know, we got it right today. And
Well, did stick the head out and finally won a decent race. Magnus had been threatening to do so since he'd beaten California Dane and a maiden. Perhaps that overboomed him. Of the age classic, Steve, with none of the guns there, but a good competitive race nonetheless.
Yes, it was interesting that very few horses other than the winner backed up from the Group 1 Salinger the week before, but deserved win for the horse, deserved win. But Simon, do you know what I reckon's the most interesting thing to come out of this race?
Tell me, champion.
They ran 1:8.9. Gold Edition ran 1:8.8 on Thursday. I think Gold Edition would have beaten this.
She's a freak. She's a freak. Ronnie Moore.
In the paddock. I was talking to Ronnie Moore this morning. He said he was glad that he didn't run Gold Edition in that race yesterday, backing up. He just thought that at this time of the year, the 3-year-old fillies don't, you know, that it was the older horses.
What rubbish.
I'm only telling you what Ron said.
That's rubbish. It would have won that race by about 8 lengths with 50 kilos, and it was worth double the race it won on the Thursday. That is an unfathomable decision, that. I can't work that out.
No, you're winner of last week, number 1 Desert War, $5.80. Ladder the Manor, $6.90. Super Kids, $22.30. Apache Cat, $7.60. With Personal Ensign, $18. Nicanero, $21.40. The Gay second runner, Bentley Biscuit, $6.90. Equal second pick there with Ladder the Manor behind Desert War, but the favourite on the tote's right down the bottom here, Divine Madonna. Saspy, 22.
The Emirates Stakes at Group 1, the big final Group 1 of the Carnival coming up at Flemington with Desert War, the 5.20 favourite. Plenty of chances. Divine Madonna, 5.60. Bentley Biscuit at 8.60.
Desert War has gone out a half a point. Divine Madonna in a half a point. And we will...
Signal given, they're racing this time. Nicanero on the inside, bounds quickly with Desert War. And Spirit of Tara, they're all in a hurry. So is Super Kid. And they're charging forward when they settle down. And further out, Bentley Biscuit followed out wider by Apache Cat when they settle down. Desert War takes it up and leads by a length and a half, settling from Super Kid and Apache Cat. Then Bentley Biscuit followed by Spirit of Tara up 4th. And Bentley Biscuit 5th, 2 further back, Sea Change, Flash Trick. Then Perfectly Ready, followed by Nicanero. Honour and War further back from Valedicton, further back Saspy, Chinquay Cento, getting a fair way out of it, and followed by Honour and War, further back Chinquay Cento, Ladder the Manor on the move, followed by Saspy, then came Matabi, and Divine Madonna last of all. They're at the 600 metre mark coming around the home turn, and it's Desert War from Apache Cat outside it. 2 lengths the Spirit of Tara, followed on the outside by Bentley Biscuit. Further back in the race then came Flash Trick when they turned for home. Desert War grabbed by Apache Cat, and Bentley Biscuit coming at them quickly. Bentley Biscuit on the outside goes up to Apache Cat. Here's Valedictum and Divine Madonna coming from last down the outside. Nicaniro's getting a run through. Apache Cat in front. Nicaniro's grabbed it in the centre. Down the outside, Divine Madonna and Nicaniro fighting it out. Nicaniro, Divine Madonna getting ahead in front of Nicaniro, and Divine Madonna gets up to win the Emirates. And next to Nicaniro, to the Valedictum third. Then further back, perfectly ready from Ladder the Matter. Apache Cat, Bentley Biscuit, Desert War, Spirit of Tara, Saspy. Then came Honour and War, followed by Atapi. Well back, Chinque Cheddar. Then Sea Change. Bentley Biscuit pulled up quickly after the line, and Super Kid is tailed off.
2 lengths to Sea Change. She seems to have got across okay. She just wants to toss her head in the air a little bit there. At the 1200, next Flash Trick, followed by Perfect In from Spirit of Tara. Bentley Biscuit eases out to have a clear run at them now. Then Nicaniro followed wide around Valedictum. Saspy, Divine Madonna's got right to the outside. Ladder the Matter trying to thread through. At the 300, Apache Cat with Bentley Biscuit on one rein. He's coming at them. Divine Madonna's trying to reach them out wide. She's swapping them now. Nicaniro's hit the front at the 100. Divine Madonna swallowed him off. 50 to go. Divine Madonna got to Nicaniro. Divine Madonna too good. Divine Madonna for Steve Basta. But Nicaniro, Valedictum and perfectly ready. Ladder the Matter's run fifth from Apache Cat, Desert War, Spirit of Tara.
Sensational performance. She was last into the straight. Stephen Bass's had a bear, has really had a wonderful spring. I reckon, Richard, she's responsible for 2 of the great performances of spring on Turnbull Stakes Day, but even better today. This was a colossal effort.
The speed had set this up. Those leaders had gone hard, and there was a charge of the Light Brigade in the last 100 metres here inside the 200, and she's just claiming Valedictum, who's run out of his skin here. Nicaniro looked like he pinched a break on the inside, but she claims him in the last 50 metres. He fights back Nicaniro, but he's no match for her, and Divine Madonna grabs the prize there from Nicaniro.
Oh, Steve, Divine Madonna, the pace was cracker, wasn't it, early, but I bet you were smiling back there.
Yeah, that's it. It looked on paper as if they go quick, but I mean, sometimes the other boys read into it and they don't, but today we're lucky they did.
And she settled perfectly for you.
That was a stunning performance.
Look, she's raced well. All carnivals, she's been consistent, and a couple of times she hasn't had tracks to suit it, but, you know, she's just a super horse.
You have to ride.
She is such an exciting horse to watch. Don't you love those horses that can come from last and win with a dash?
Well, of a trainer, it couldn't have gone. Race 6, Flemington, the Emirates Stakes, 15, 7 and 10. Divine Madonna, Steve Basta for Mark Kavanagh. Congratulations. 5.60, 2.40, 7 Nicaniro, $6.10, and third Valid.
By last, and a great change of luck for Stevie Basta, $6. Well-tried favourite, Divine Madonna. Nicaniro, one of 7 seconds for the week for Dwayne Dunn, 10 placings, no wins, and Valedictum last year's winner ran well. There's a lot to analyse out of this race. We'll get to the Gavin McKeon incident shortly and the perfectly ready saga, bad from start to finish. But let's concentrate on the winner, Steve. She's proven herself at the highest level now, and she is a great race mare.
No doubt about it. Certainly, I guess the irony of racing yesterday, the pattern to some degree was certainly in her favour, whereas last Saturday on Derby Day, when she was clearly the best run of the day, the pattern was very much against her. 3 Group 1 winners now for Mark Kavanagh, the Adelaide trainer, and it's very much an Adelaide story, given that his 3 Group 1 winners have all been purchased through the Adelaide Magic Million sales. But here we see Divine Madonna coming to the outside, brilliant performance. Admittedly, she had the weight advantage under these handicap conditions, but that's still a Herculean effort to come from the tail, and Stephen Basta had to hook to the extreme outside at the top of the straight, which is always difficult. It's a lot easier if you can angle through rather than you almost
get. They're perfectly ready. Basically starts interference from start to finish and runs fourth. Now look at Gavin McKeon out here, Simon, on the outside, white-blue.
Yeah, he's 6 back there, as you can see, and he's just dropping back now to perfectly ready in the yellow and the navy blue. Just watch this, all 6 back there, just he comes off, he's 3 deep, he's got perfectly ready back inside him, and this is where he tightens Glenn Boss, bang. You see Glenn sit back in the saddle. Now if they were racing a lot tighter in behind them, a lot closer, severe interference would have happened on that occasion, and it's a very, very lethal charge that he was...
Simon, the charge was reckless riding, and the only other jockey charge of that in Victoria has been, of course, Luke Nolan for his ride on Temple Hills at Caulfield. When you see that shot, I mean, that's just shows...
She's just had a super campaign, Divine Madonna, and she thoroughly deserved that win, Alf.
Oh, there's no question about that, Graham. Her form, this preparation after blitzing him in Adelaide, blitzed him at Flemington Turnbull Stakes Day. Very, very unlucky when she ran 3rd, and unlucky again when she ran 4th the other day. Deserved performance here. Had to do all the work. Look, she got back. She had to chase, come right to the outside, and it was a terrific performance. And, you know, we've highlighted, like even old Lad of the Manor, like blinkers on for the first time, drew wide, got back, got home. There he is, getting up towards the outside, running home there now. He's just in the gold cap coming out between runners now. I thought his run was very, very good also, but I was a little bit disappointed with the tempo of the race. I thought Chris Muntz might have shown perhaps a little more common sense. I didn't expect him to ride it so hard in the early stages, and I didn't...
There were 3 leaders in that race. There was always going to be plenty of pace in that race. Perfectly Ready should have won.
Should have won.
It should have won. And look, the Lad of the Manor, with a better run, might have won too. But, you know, good effort, the winner. Well placed, well ridden. Everything went right for her. The horse I'm a bit worried about is this the horse of Gay Waterhouse with the blaze there. What's his name?
Bentley Biscuit.
Bentley Biscuit, yeah. He ran like a drunken sailor. He's got to learn some manners, that horse. He got in the way of Perfectly Ready. And so did Valedictum, by the way. But Valedictum wasn't really... It was just strong riding from Greg Charles there, not anything. But see...
It should have won Perfectly Ready. Got in more interference than most runners there. It was a funny race because the speed was on, and the winner may have been flattered having the uninterrupted passage down the outside. Like she got the fly where the others were sort of jostling to get balanced and run on. You have to feel for Dwayne Dunn over the Flemington Carnival. I think he had about 7 seconds and 3/3. 8 seconds, was it? It's very, very frustrating for Dwayne, but he rode that well, Nick, in the end.
Now, Magnus. The week. Astonishing, really, those figures. Here's some figures on screen for you as well. It's the Queen Elizabeth Stakes, Group 3, coming up in 16 minutes. Show Barry, $8.90, double figures on course. Vanquish, $3, 5-2 on course 4, $6.80, that's about right. Other horse in the betting is 12. Magic Instinct, $7.80. It's 80 cents shorter. And 16.
Certainly deserves to win. Foram looks like it's coming back into form and has Beedman aboard today for John O'Shea. Gallant Guru's been racing very well for Lee Friedman, winning its last couple. Magic Instinct.
So back and they're off. Gallant Guru on the inside bounds quickly. Out wide, the rider of Force 9 went back with Jagger after the start. Show Barry, Bay Story, Blue Collar Jack, Savit and Magic Instinct are all going forward with Gallant Guru by the judge the first time. Blue Collar Jack out wide and Savit. Savit is bowling along in front. A length in front here of Blue Collar Jack, 2 to Gallant Guru. Bay Story and Show Barry the first one to come out from Magic Instinct. Then came further back Pantani, followed by Forum. Jagger a fair way back. So's Vanquish, followed by Force 9 and Spinny last of all. They're coming around the turn and Zavit straightens up 3/4 in front of Blue Collar Jack and Gallant Guru. Magic Instinct back to the inside as Zavit starts to duck back to the rail. Then came wider out Bay Story and Show Barry down the outside and Vanquish from a long way back. Zavit is collared at the 300-metre mark on the outside by Gallant Guru and Magic Instinct. They've raced to the front from Show Barry, Bay Story, Forum getting out late. Gallant Guru and Magic Instinct coming again. Magic Instinct and Gallant Guru from Forum. Gallant Guru's got a 10 in front. Magic Instinct is fighting back. They hit the line. Might be Magic Instinct and nose to Gallant Guru. Third home is Forum. Then a gap in the race to Zarbeat. This not his go to lead. Further back then Bay Story, followed by the up.
So well, did Magic Instinct get it? No, Gallant Guru got it. He's got up and won for Lee Friedman. And Stephen Arnold with the bob of the head and Forum and
Magic Instinct and Forum. $8.60, $7.80, I'm sorry, Gallant Guru and $2.60. Steve Arnold for...
Week for Steve Arnold, lovely ride, of course, the same on Maybe Better. He's helped 2 horses get over some problems this week. Maybe Better and Gallant Guru into next year, and Forum ran on for 3rd. I think it was a pretty useful Queen Elizabeth team.
Yes, I think there was reasonable depth. I think you probably make the key point that Stephen Arnold has bookend the 2,500-metre feature races first and last day, and gorgeous ride again, as you expect from him on Gallant Guru. A complete lack of pace in this staying race. None of them were really put to the test, and those to the left of screen out the back weren't going to pick up the leaders. They scooted home too quickly off a moderate pace, and Magic Instinct in the nose roll pushing through in the middle. Gallant Guru with Stephen Arnold remaining balanced, doesn't get desperate, just gets the knot on the line. Forum was okay. Vanquish was a little disappointing. He might have had enough, perhaps, this time in.
That's what Dale Oliver told stewards when asked. Magic Instinct had to make his ground probably in the worst part of the track. No fault there of Chris Munt.
And 4th behind that. The crowd figure today, it's an astonishing result. Almost 80,000 people have come here today. Only twice before they had over 50,000 for the final day. If we go down to the Emirates Stakes, 78,000. Now, just quickly, a record for the Derby, an all-time record of 129. The previous biggest crowd ever at Flemington for any meeting was 122. Again, over 100,000 for the Cup. The second biggest Oaks crowd ever 78,000 today. That is more than we're here to see Vintage Crop win the Melbourne Cup in '93 and Darim.
Look forward to the 2007 Caulfield Cup, Cox Plate and the Melbourne Cup. Let's start with the Caulfield Cup. Michael Iskander, first up for the markets for 2007. No surprise, Efficient is favourite at $14. But unders for you?
Yeah, about favourite should be 20 to 1.
Yeah. Now the interesting nom there is Harada Finland at $10, Efficient and El Segundo run up this year $11. Harada, so I'm so looking forward to seeing him back. I missed him in the spring. I thought he was going to be one of the big stars. Pompey really active.
Markets aren't realistic. What a nonsense. If you want to take 9 to 1, something to win a race 12 months away.
No one's making it. It's a good talking point, which is why we're talking about this, Steve. This is the first markets for 2007 and the Melbourne Cup for 2007. Efficient's favourite, Zipping Pop Rock to come back and win next year. Maybe better to come back and go 2 better. A couple of these, wouldn't the Garada Son get the 2 miles? But
what price any Japanese horse winning?
Okay, now you can have a there back towards this big crowd. So a lot of people really enjoying the terrific weather, the lawns here at Sandown, and I think
we're coming up to the Kevin Heffernan Stakes. Kevin's been a real stalwart of the industry for many years and a long-serving committeeman here, and another I work for him.
Heffernan Stakes with Casanero. The
Heffernan Stakes. 5th at Sandown, waiting on the signal. There it is now. They're racing. Let Go Tomo ambled out of the gates with Presto Veet. Bohemian Rhapsody, Mega Deal began fast with Sea Chain, and Tesbury Jack on the move from the outside. Settling down, Mega Deal in front. Tesbury Jack goes up to have a crack at it. Soleil behind them, and Tesbury Jack finally got around the outside. Gouch put the anchors on in front, slowed them down to lead Reuben. Mega Deal third, followed by Soleil. Cosinero can't get on the track from Sea Chain. Bohemian Rhapsody further back on to lead Paracero. Then came to the outside, Let Go Tomo from Bomber Bill. Well back, Presto Veek, general conclusion, 350 out. Tesbury Jack in front, Mega Deal going for the run up on the fence, Reuben on the outside. Then came Cosinero down the outside. Tesbury Jack got 2 in front, but Mega Deal gets out and goes after it quickly from Cosinero. But Tesbury's got a huge lead, he's home. Tesbury Jack 3 in front of Mega Deal, Cosinero running on Let Go Tomo, but Tesbury Jack wins easily. 2.5 to Cosinero, third's a photo, Let Go Tomo or Mega Deal, then a gap Soleil, Presto Veet, Paracero, then on a lead, followed by Reuben.
Well, that's the best of Tesbury Jack. We've seen him at his best today. Positive gouching out of the gates. We thought we might see him in a Group 1 this time in. Well, you ran well on the Salinger, just got the wrong side of the draw there, but I think there's a Group 1 in him.
I hope so. We think so, and I hope so.
Okay, so
top Australian to Rugal kick, I thought it'd be a good horse. Had to beat me from now on. He's still going to run his last 400 very quick. Julie every time he races, so I think in the autumn when he get a chance, we'll step him up to 1400. I think we'll probably see the best of him then.
You're right. 5 and before between 4 and 12. Number 7, Tesbury Jack. Darren Gouchy for Julie Scott, $6 and $2.30.
Salinger form was absolutely outstanding this year. He ran 11th. He was back with Magnus on the inside. Cocinero, favourite, ran second. Let Go Tomo had a pre-race scare with a Steve.
I think there is, Bruce. The dilemma they'll probably face in the autumn is Darren thinks that he wants to step out to 1400, but he's already a good proven straight track performer, so they're going to have lots of options. He rolled to the front here for Darren, and he was able to get him to come back, and he's kicked, and certainly the pattern of the day. I don't think it was dynamite bias. We'll call it pattern.
I think he's a good horse. No, he's won 5 out of 10. I underrated him, and good on you, Julie Scott. Very handy sprinter. You're going to have a lot of fun with him.
I think there's only 5 horses that raced in the Salinger that have raced since. 4 of them have won. And so Dance Hero happened this way often at this Sandown meeting that on paces appear to have an advantage. That's the way it looks at the moment. It's probably the reason the Promiscuous has opened up pretty short here.
Rightly so, yes, short on the tape than it is. There it is on the screen, 220, 230, 220.
At the moment, in the year before that, 2003, Pay Keys, Bruce touched on it before, for John Hickmott, beat Ike's Dream, the filly, who was the only filly in the race, and Dexterous and Moon Dragon, the fillies won the 2 previous years. So they certainly are competitive in this race every year, and they look to have a very strong hand this year, Bruce.
Put us in. Ready for the guineas now. Promiscuous flew a gate out towards the centre. Bouncing quickly, Rubric and also Sender and Allier Moo. Snort quickly dropped out to the back with Volcanic Star and Wordsmith when they settle down. 5 o'clock, Shadow and Tullamarine are all racing for this. 4 of them across the track for the lead early. Tullamarine and on the outside, Promiscuous and Sender 3 deep. Going back, Clip in front. Tullamarine 2 in front. Promiscuous second, 2 then to 5 o'clock, Shadow third. 2 for the back, 4 Sender. Then Miss Fantabulous on the outside of Bodgy. 2.5 to Rubric from Revive. rise, then came Antidotes, followed last of all. On the top circle, 6.50 out. The leader, Tullamarine, a half in front of the favourite, Promiscuous, a length further back. 5 o'clock Shadow, followed by Sender. Then came Bodgy to the outside. Miss Fantabulous revised back on the rail. Then Rubric, followed by Antipodes as they turn for home. Into the straight now, Promiscuous going out after Tullamarine, who's got a bit of a kick. But Promiscuous has joined Tullamarine, but coming at them, Sender. Sender on the outside. The boulder goes up to Promiscuous, followed by Bodgy. Then came Miss Fantabulous. LEA moved down the outside. Sender in front of the 100-metre mark. From the Promiscuous, Bodgy. Wordsmith running on. Sender got clear. Flame of Sydney laid up on the fence, but Sender at any odds. Sender wins a length and a quarter. Flame of Sydney second. Third, Wordsmith. LEA moved fourth. They're followed by Bodgy, Rubric. General Albert ran on. Promiscuous didn't come on the last 200. Followed by Antipodes further at the tail.
An eerie silence over Sandown as Sender at $112.40 and $20.40 travelled 3 wide, carving the pace, and still wins. Flame of Sydney, brilliant. Well, that's something a little bit different. You had to broadcast the race to your owner, Jonathan Munns, and I think he believed. Has the horse always had that in him, though?
He's always showed good ability, and his run was quite good the other day, but I was tending to think he was a soft tracker and sort of Tassie Derby or something.
Well, obviously, you reassess now.
Yeah, well, glad we ran him. I was going to run him from 14, but Munsey said run it.
All right, that's the best win
from Subtle, and he's done give it a shake here, and he kept going. It was a good effort.
Did you know it?
Good race to me.
And if you got the first 4, you're lying.
Well, apparently now there's a report there's a jackpot. Is that right?
Yes, we've got a jackpot. The number 10.
Odds are right, $61 SP and $100 plus on the totes. Only previous win had been a maiden at Kilmore. Flame of Sydney, fantastic ride by Beeman to run second from a bad gate. Wordsmith was on it. Steve, you can't take anything away from the winner.
Well, you can't. He was posted 3 wide early behind those 2 leaders, Tullamarine and Promiscuous. Did some work early, then the gouge sat and eased. He was strong again. We'll see him coming to the turn here, and he's about to join them 3 wide again after taking the sit. He's done the work. It was a fast run race. They've run fast overall time. First 800 was quick, and here he just seems to be struggling a touch, but then he picks up, kicks away. Some of the closers have had their chance. The horses inside him have had their chance. Terrific performance.
Yeah, he rode him very positive, Darren. He drew an outside gate, of course, 12. The second horse, Flame of Sydney, drew 13, and Wordsmith drew 10. Now, Wordsmith gets to the outside and has a bit of a bumping duel with a couple before he got out into the clear, but look...
At the moment, that's the sign of a great jockey. Anyway, we've got the cut and draft Sandown Stakes upon us here, and he rides a Forest Spy, $9.50. Open race here. Favourite is Swick on course. So Swick, let's have a look at the totes. $4.80, $6 and $4.50. As I say, it's around a 4-to-1 chance.
Likewise, Cargo Cult, Forest Spy. Swick's eased a half point out to around the 9-to-2 mark at this point, but we're a little bit confused just as to how this race is going to unfold.
You know, this will be the definitive guide to how the track's racing today. So, okay, there's only one race to go, but it'll
Swick and Forest Spy, they settle again. Signal, they're racing. Confectioner missed it about a length and a half. He's back last. Live in Vain and Anwar bounce quickly with Caprese Strip. Rockford Bay, Camp Kalani from Forest Spy, Astrodame and Mary King. Swick further back, followed by Storm. Live in Vain worked to the front of the 800. 2.5 to Anwar. A length and a half to Rockford Bay and a half Caprese Strip. 2 to Forest Spy. Camp Kalani the fence. 1 to Astrodame. A length further back, a Mary King. 2 to Swick. Then Storm Signal, followed by Confectioner, Bird Dancer. 2 to Cargo Colt, last of all. Coming around the turn. Live in Vain, 3/4 to Anwar, 2 or 3 to Rockford Bay. Outside of Caprese Strip from Forest Spy, Camp Kalani. Then Astrodame, Mary King and Swick. In the straight, 300 to go. And Anwar goes up to Live in Vain. 2.5 further back, Caprese Strip. Then Rockford Bay, followed by Forest Spy, Camp Kalani and Swick down the outside. Anwar's taken the lead at the 150 and kicked away. Anwar's raced away down the outside. Swick coming quickly at Anwar. Swick goes up to Anwar and Swick gets up to win. Swick 3/4 to Anwar. 2 away, third, Cargo Calder, a Mary King in a photo. Then came Storm Signal behind those with Rockford Bay, Bird Dancer and Confectioner. Caprese Strip stopped quickly after the line with Forest Spy, Astrodame, Camp Kalani and Live in Vain.
Well, he had the form, he had the pace on, he had the run, and you're going to get $5.10 about Swick. Anwar was terrific on pace. Cargo, terrific on pace. Cargo Colt, he's just bursting to win a race. Runs on again and runs third, and it's all panned out beautifully for Swick.
Well, the Salinger form just proving everything remarkable. Swick, Tesbury, Jack, Street Smart, Magnus, they just keep winning. Confectioner, where did he get to in the run home here? He's worked home okay. Yep.
Yeah, the Challenger runner is very, very impressive, and today, long straight here and a little bit further, gave him a chance to... platform was very good.
Hasn't been the nature now. Established here, of course, with Peter Moody, now forming an association with Bart Cummings. He turned 79 on Tuesday this week. The great trainer, Bart, 11-time.
Calder, a Merry King in a photo.
Well, just proved that the hottest form race of the spring was the Group 1 Challenger. Swick ran fourth in that, came out and went round $5. Thank you very much. Beating Anwar, good on pace. Cargo Colt, terrific again, just bursting to win a race. Look, Steve, we'd seen the horse run so well on the Challenger and just had to reproduce that on the track, which you might have had some little question mark over, but put the form on the board and the run to match it.
No doubt, outstanding performance yesterday, the best performance of the day. He'll go on and win better races. Swick, he'll probably come back in the autumn. Newmarket, Doncaster, perhaps those sort of races. There he is, of course, in the Cummings colour, white cap, about the fourth last horse in picture. Lets down there and just sustains high speed for the last 200 metres to pick up the leaders. Terrific performance. Cargo Colt's in the white, just weaving between them now. He charges to the line. Swick home in 32.4, Cargo Colt home in 32.2. And Bruce, on reflection, I think the good test.
There's your totes, 12.90 Roman Arch, that's unders, 4.30 Casual Pass, that's overs. 38.10 for Short Pause, that's about right. 8.80 for Show Barry, double figures now with the bookies for him at 7.80. That's value. King of Ashley, they're both around $17 chances here on course. There you can see Gallant Guru at 6.40. Bit longer here on course. The totes are unders there. Bromfelinity overs, 9.90. Shorty overs, 9.90. Shorter on course. Well, the Furio form stacks up because it was Sender who was well held by Furio last start of Flemington.
Yeah, back to the action. Sandown Classic. We're only a minute or two away. They're starting to load into the gates here. What can we tell you from the ring? Late support for Casual Pass. Show Barry's been easy. Forum sting.
Sandown Classic, they're off this time. Down near the inside, Furio Show Barry bounced out quickly. A little bit slow into stride nearer the inside, then Bay Story, and from the outside, Gallant Guru was flying across. Gallant Guru's quickly got across, and he has taken it up now at the 400-metre mark the first time from Show Barry. Further out is Bromfelinity, followed by Furio. Casual Pass, Exalted Ego. The inside, Bay Story. Roman Arch is deep from Zavit, Short Paul. Bay Story. Show Barry with Bay Story whipping around the outside and going to the front now. Johnny Two to Short Pause. King of Ashford last of all. At the 850-metre mark and the leader, Bay Story, 2 to Show Barry. 2 lengths further back, Roman Arch third, Gallant Guru fourth. A length and a half, Bromfelinity, followed by Furio. Casual Pass, 10 lengths from the lead. Then Sadler Story, Forum, Exalted Ego, Short Pause. Zavit, Jukebox, Johnny and King of Ashford last of all. 550 out. And the important horse, Bay Story, is out 2.5 in front when they turn for home. From Show Barry and Roman Arch, Gallant Guru's had a good run fourth. Outside him, Bromfelinity and Furio back to the rail. They go inside the 400, Bay Story in front. Tackled quickly on the outside by Roman Arch. And Gallant Guru coming at Roman Arch from Bromfelinity up on the inside. Then came Casual Pass. It's Roman Arch on the inside, Bromfelinity. Then Gallant Guru. Roman Arch grabbed by Bromfelinity. Coming up them, Gallant Guru. Gallant Guru going up now to Show Barry. And on the inside, still fighting on, is Show Barry. Coming up them, Casual Pass, but it's tight. Gallant Guru, Casual Pass, or Show Barry in a great finish. Behind them, Roman Arch, a terrific finish. King of Ashford ran on. Then Exalted Ego, followed by Bay Story. A gap Bromfelinity pulled up quickly with Furio. Zavit.
Gallant Guru will get this for Stephen Arnold and Lee Freeman. I'm pretty sure the number will go in the frame. 10-2. Casual Pass came late and dived. And it's Show Barry back on the inside. Here's the line. Let's get this confirmed. It is. There's your winner. Gallant Guru makes it 4 in a row for Lee Freeman. I don't think he helped Steve Arnold.
Casual Pass left.
And helping Steve too much. He had him on one rein there, and that's the nature of the horse's old problems, I presume.
Yeah, he's got a few tricks up his sleeve, but there's no doubt he's got the ability, and he's had a fabulous campaign now, so there's a bit to look forward to in the autumn.
Yeah, sure. For age winner. Well done, Michael.
Thanks, Bruce. Thanks.
Michael Freeman here.
By Arnold again, who's pulled off some magnificent staying rides this spring. Casual Pass has pulled up lame. Show Barry, typically brave and honest. Roman Arch. As it panned out, Simon, it was a race for the tough, seasoned, wait for age handicap type horse. The youngsters weren't in it.
Well, I think it became a test towards the 1200 metre mark when Bay Story.
Steve.
Well, it was a real lack of pace. I don't think they were put to the test really at all, Simon. They've run about 120 for the first 1,200 metres and sprinted home in 1:11.7. And even when Bay Story went to the front, he didn't really wind it up. Stephen Arnold, I agree with you, superb rider. And probably just about here, the fact that he's pinched a couple of lengths on Casual Pass, who's left a picture in the moody colours, the green. Casual Pass has knuckled down superbly at the end of this 2400. His run's good, Show Barry's good, Roman Archer's good again, last year's winner. King of Ashford in the green. Oh, yeah. He has run home in 32.2 at the end of a 1.5 mile race. Simply conceded far too great a start. It was something of a tragedy.
The line at the back there, so we'll talk to his jockey.
Enough accolades on Stephen Arnold for this performance. From an Casual Pass, I feel sorry for him. He's been ridden, I suppose, quieter his last couple, and as far as I'm concerned, has certainly paid the penalty for being ridden like that. When we saw him perform in the Yalumba, up on speed, and you go through his form forever. He's an on-speed horse. If he was on speed there, like you thought he would have been, it wins. There's no question about that, and I think Matty Ellerton summed it up pretty well. Changed the jockeys, changed the result.
What about it, Ronnie?
Yeah, it was to a certain extent till late in the day. Look, I understand what you're saying, Alf, but I feel Casual Pass was given pretty well every chance. The tempo of the race early was so slow.
Ron, he's simply not a run-on horse, though. He's an on-pace horse.
No, I've got to disagree with you there.
You're about a head out of it,
the run of the day here, the run of the day by a long way is this King of Ashford coming from last. The way this race was run, that was an enormous performance. But, oh, geez, all honours with the winner and the ride. He cuddled, got across. Brilliant ride.
Yeah, I agree with Ron. I agree with... Hang on. Just give me 2 seconds. The King of Ashford, I agree totally with Ronnie. It was beaten by the barrier. He had to go back. He couldn't do much about it. Could have posied up closer from a good draw. And I've got to stick with Ronnie on Casual Pass. I didn't think there was much wrong with the ride. If he could have been a bit closer, he may have won the race, but still there was nothing wrong with the ride. The horse went to sleep, and it was his first go at 2,400 metres too.
He favours and he was able to get them up.
For the Railway Stakes, and here's an emerging horse, Marasco, named after Connie Marasco, famous Melbourne tipster for the winning post. Good luck to you, Connie. And he is Freddie Kersley's new star. You can see Nick and Hero Confectioner, Polar Bear, Bell Bazaar won yesterday, going back from the east. And a Cargo Cop. Well,
he's one you can mention that might be as good as Northerly, Steve-O. Marasco.
Well, it also have an Empire's Choice.
How's it go?
Give it time.
Exactly. All right, what about the fruit and veg? And, of course, this is at a different weight scale here. Confectioner favourite. He's heading over. Polar Bear, I think, probably going to Hong Kong. Marasco there at $9. Roman Arch might head over there. And, of course, Bay Story's heading over for the Cup. But David Hazel...
Sweet Lee.